Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Next Level with Sodaron, where I'm here to help you achieve the next level in League of Legends. So, today, what I have prepared for you is the LCK Summer Match 67 T1 vs Gen G, which is on patch 14.14. I am Coach Sodaron, Sodaron, the Wizard of LOL Esports, or you can just call me Coach Sodaron. That works as well. So here we are. We're in the big Saturday showdown here. I was really excited to record this yesterday, but I'm getting my sleep schedule and everything turned around for my life. That's my way. I can't keep up with Riot Games and all of the games they put out, and it's taken me time to learn this and realize this. So here we are. I did prep a little bit for this. I personally play jungle, and I want to show you some things. I want to show you how you get good at these champions. You don't waste your time right off the bat going into solo queue. You can spend your time practicing in the practice tool. And one thing that makes me happy, I had been complaining for years how when you go to the practice tool here, why can't you make the bot you're playing against? It used to put it down in bottom lane, and I used to make videos about this, and a lot of people at first would make fun of me or say that's dumb, and then they kind of caught on that, yeah, he's right, he's not wasting his time. So you can go and put whatever matchup you want to put in. Zyra's a really big one right now that you see in the professional scene in Italy. So what I did, I'm trying to master Nidalee. So how I'm preparing, and I'm showing you, instead of maybe going in solo queue and wasting a couple hours of your time. Oh, and my little one, what's up here? Okay, got my buddy on my lap today. So instead of wasting your time, you go into draft here or ranked, and it probably takes at least 10 minutes to find a game, get the bands going, draft, and then maybe you'll get a dodge, and then you'll get another game and waste another 5 or 10 minutes, and then maybe somebody else will dodge. So then you've already wasted 1 hour of your day. Well, you can go to the practice tool. I even saw one of my favorite Warcraft 3 players of all time started playing League of Legends at the beginning of the year and put out VODs and streamed. And he started from level 1, and I think he got to level 30 for ranked. And then he really got tired of it because he was like, wow, these players are so bad on the solo queue that this isn't even fun for me. And I kind of have the same problem. And he did the same thing. He would go in the practice tool and practice the things before going into the solo queue matches. So you don't need to go directly into the solo queue matches. You could spend a day just working on, say you want to master Nidalee, because I just want to show you here, like this. I started yesterday. I was prepping for this, and I noticed Canyon and wrote down his timers because I noticed he could clear the jungle maybe a minute faster than I can, or 45 seconds than I can. And that's a big time difference. There's a whole minute that he's clearing faster. And the things I try to talk about on here is there's like a formula for a perfect game where you can close it out in 20-25 minutes, where you get all the objectives off the map. The dragons, the void grubs, the rift herald, the baron. You get these things, some turrets, and you can easily win and close out the game. So I started. I'm not very good with Nidalee, so I don't know where to exactly start showing you this, but I also did learn something else too I've never messed with, is my HUD display. that I cranked my HUD down to 30% and it's much better. You can see like the icons are much smaller. Makes a big difference. And you can just go into the interface here, and I thought it was this HUD scaling there, mini map scale. I thought it was the HUD scale that I turned down to 33%, but I could be wrong. I'll have to, maybe the game reset that. But it looked like it made this down here much smaller. But I'm just showing you, I didn't know what to do with Nidalee. I caught on that Canyon starts at the Raptors. So I'm just showing you like how quickly you improve just doing this practice tool. And this was only like a total of a half hour of time, maybe, tops. And so I would just say maybe you would learn more in the 30 minutes doing what I did here than what you would going into a ranked solo queue game. Because if you keep doing this, eventually you're going to master this champion. And it's a lot better when you go into the game and you feel confident, right? Like you know what Nidalee's abilities are, where it's muscle memory. You're not even thinking about, well, how do I clear with her? Because Nidalee's very complicated. Maybe the most difficult jungler that there is in the game to at least get to level 4. And then it's much easier after you get your first item. I need to turn my sound down, I would say. That's probably really loud to people. So, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just starting right off the bat, jump right into the game. I don't know why it keeps going to her. You know, I didn't know what to do. I know that I wrote it down in my notes. Canyon's level 4 by before 4 minutes. So here we are 2 minutes into the game and I'm only level 2. Now I took the wrong jungle route right here. And trying to see what Zyra's only a level 1. But they're bots, you know, they don't have the dynamic ability like humans do for the jungle playmaking. So this was a bad clear. You want down now, JD? I get talking, he wants down. So this was a bad clear, and it took me like 5 minutes to get level... Or I realized I did the clear wrong, basically. So I'm level 3, and by now Canyon's level 4. So I would say like 15 or 30 seconds behind. I wasn't like paying that close attention. But the early game is where I think solo queue players struggle, and the big difference between the pros. Once you get an item or two, you're good, you know what you're doing, right? It's just the first 10, 20 minutes that solo queue players need help with. So then I tried this again. One thing I like the practice tool is I can warp where I need to go so I don't waste time. I don't have to stand around and wait a minute and 30 seconds. So I caught on that, well, Canyon is starting at the Raptors, not the red buff. And I know this is boring to most people, but it starts to add up. You'll see it's worth your time. So we want to go about there. So I realized, well, Canyon's starting at the Raptors instead, which is a more efficient first camp to take. And I realize, I guess it is much better because you're using the heal and you can stand there and heal yourself, and then you have the lion's area damage to swipe with, or whatever it's called. Swipe. So I noticed Canyon started like this, and he's clearing. I don't know if Epic... Let me try one other thing here. Does Epic Pen work in League of Legends? It probably doesn't. Would be cool if it did. I doubt it does. Nor not right now. Also, I don't know why. One thing that really irritates me about League of Legends is when I run the game, it'll just change my pointer precision or my pointer speed, which I don't like. And every time I go in a game, I gotta readjust it. I really don't like that. I don't know why it does that. I've tried reading on boards. People don't know. It's just really annoying. I don't know if this... No, it won't work in the game. So I can't highlight, show you. And I can take screenshots, etc. But it's probably not worth my time. Again, I'm just showing you that practice tool is not a waste of your time like some people will try to say. Because you think of it this way, like football players, what do? They spend more time in the gym than they do practicing on the field. They're not going to get better at football just from playing a game of football to practice. It's a combination of many things, like their diet, their training in the gym. And think of the practice tools you're training in the gym before you go out and compete. So what I'm saying is, like, basically I get a little bit better, my clear time gets a little bit faster. So again, the 3-minute 45 seconds, I'm still behind. My goal is I'm trying to get level 4 by 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So then I do it again, and I do it again. It's like reps, and it'll eventually pay off. So I do it again. Maybe this is the same one I just replayed. I think this was the same one. I can't even, at this point I can't even remember. Am I on the same one? I don't think I am. I'm just trying to get this level 4 by 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So I'm getting a little bit better with her clear, a little bit better. I'm trying to weave in auto attacks when she's in human form. Like hit with the spear and then get an auto in. So I'm trying to weave in auto attacks as well. So it looks like maybe I'm a little bit faster than the last time. And then I probably messed this up. I didn't, yeah. And then I'm learning, well, I can get over the wall. I'm trying to weave in auto attacks after I spear. But still, I'm not level 4 by my target. I want to be level 4 by 3 minutes and 45 seconds. I used the smite on the red buff, which I probably needed here on the Krugs instead. But I was trying to steal an objective away from the enemy. I guess buffs could be considered an objective. So I should be level 4 now. I'm still a little bit behind. So I messed up again. And then it gets to a point where I tried a game of Shyvana she's really easy to me to play. So then I try it again. But see, this is the one I'm wanting to show you, like how confident I'm getting after like 4 or 5 of these. That you start to just get more confident, like reps, like you're benching 250, right? And then maybe the next week you're benching 265. So we don't need to go, we can go to the buffs and waves start at like 1:25. The buffs come up at like 1:29 seconds. And so the line forms It's more efficient and faster to start at the Raptors than start at the red buff. So you can stand here and heal in the human form. Weaving in auto attack and then spear. I'm not just spearing and then changing over to lion form and missing auto attacks. And again, this is just in like a half hour, which is like one game or less than one game. I messed that spear up. It should have hit the big Krug, but it was off a little bit. I messed that swipe up. I should have saved it to hit all of them, but again, I don't know. I'm still learning. I can't go and be at the level of Kanavi or Canyon. I messed up the wall jump there. It put me behind another, whatever. It's probably like 9 seconds for the Lions transform and all that. But I just get confident enough to go over here. Where I would play like this in solo queue. Once you get confident enough. When I jungle, I try to shut the other jungler out, so then it's already a 4 versus 5. I'm trying to get that level 4 by 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And I'm not saying I'm not even there yet. Like, I think I get it or almost get it in this game. No, see, I'm still behind like 15 seconds that Canyon can do. I even got Zyra and got probably XP off that, so I'm still behind what the pro levels are. They start making up these little differences that really add up by 20 minutes. So there, I'm still behind, like I'm still working on this. Now, most people would be like, oh, look how awesome I am, and I got a takedown, and... But after like a week of this, I'll be confident to go into solo queue and climb ladder with Nidalee. I'm not confident enough yet to go play a ranked with Nidalee. I feel like I need like 20 or 30 games of playing her before I even do ranked, just personally. There again, I missed the big Krug. I'm wanting to hit the big Krug. Now, I don't know about my HUD stuff like I was talking about. Thought I'd put it down to 30%. But maybe this is because of the replay. And I'm also able to go and get boots and a black torch after my first clear, which is a huge power spike. Zyra's only level 2. Like, I'd shut Zyra completely out of this game. So if you're in solo queue, like, it's automatically like a 4 versus 5. Faded Ashes. I thought it was called Black Torch, but the Faded Ashes. Black Torch is the main item. So let me see the scaling I was talking about real quick, and then I'll get into the next VOD review. Lucian Jungle. I've seen Lucian Jungle back in the day. It was pretty cool. I think it was... No, it wasn't Kanavi. It was... oh, he was on CJ. I can't think of his name at the moment, but he's a pretty awesome jungler. So I just keep grinding this. Don't really need runes anymore because Riot tells you what you need to take. Very nice of them. I'm not doing my clear this time. I just want to see if I can figure out the HUD thing I was talking about. Because I've never messed with my heads-up display, and I noticed that when I put it down to like 30%, I can see a lot more of the map, the lane. This looks a lot smaller now. HUD scale. Like, notice how this is much smaller now. It doesn't need to be huge. And then when I'm in a lane, I can see... This is what Faker runs on his. And I was like, aha, that's a very good... It's genius. I've never even thought of that. Like, see how I can see a lot more of the lane now because this part down here is so much smaller. I don't need that huge heads-up display.
I'll put you down.
Oh, look, I got them both.
The wild calls.
5. Eight.
Soft of paw, light of foot.
I'll probably need her.
That's right. Run.
11. That's what you're trying to do. Trying to hit perfect CS like Chovy. Oh, I missed one. Ah. I missed 2.
Never sleeps.
This is tricky here. I don't know what the... Ah, missed them again. 15. And then you can come in here and practice laning too with like the jungle champion, because you're going to get times where you need to go in and your laner is gone, dunzo, some people say. Ah, I missed another one. And you're going to need to go pick up their farm in their lane or at their turret. And a lot of junglers I see go in and miss a bunch because they're just not used to last hitting, and you can practice that as well. 18. Bet I'm ahead of Lucian.
I do not question my 2 forms.
Ah. I'm getting ahead of myself. You got all this power and these buttons, and it's easy to miss.
Feral strength.
Now I'm shoving the wave.
Cuts bone.
So this is League. I mean, this is what you do. It's hard to get the cannon minions. You have to really wait for them to get low.
Now.
Oh, I missed another one. Trying to get 100 CS at 10 minutes, and I'm way off. Or at least 50 at 5 minutes. These are the really tough ones, because...
Too late to run.
You take two... The casters take 2 turret hits, and then you have to get them. Look at all that CS I'm wasting. I've wasted like 50 gold.
Nothing between you and me.
Oh! It's alright, I'll get him. I'll get him. Watch this.
I have led my tribe for generations. The trespassers are next.
Ah, I missed one. I need more practice. No, I'm 2 levels ahead of Lucian Bot. Some of it might be because he's jungle.
I strike true.
Came out and tried to gank me. But I'm missing a good bit of CS.
Claw deep.
But I'm just showing you how you can get better. You don't have to do it in ranked solo queue like people try to tell you. Athletes have to go and practice in gyms. So I just wanted to show you that, but now we're going to go ahead and get into the first game. This is a very important game. This is a very important Saturday show match, and I watched it.
There's so much Shyvana. It seems like it's infected all of Korea at the moment, and they haven't found.
I like the Shyvana.
To win on the champion.
Yeah, and I think a big thing is there's definite strengths to Shyvana.
And yep,
Picture this. You're sitting at home alone watching YouTube videos, wondering why you can't...
I don't have YouTube Premium, so I apologize. If you could help subscribe to me, I can pay for YouTube Premium and not have ads, but right now it has to be that way.
Keep their calls pretty close to their chest.
Yeah, I mean,
So
even,
Koma says we have prepared ourselves.
Comments saying they're a tough opponent because Gen G could
I get
easily-
hyped
yeah, we're
on
just gonna beat them,
Saturday
but
showdowns.
They know T1. You don't want to risk. You don't want to risk it because they can just upswing. You can never kind of count.
Champions in 2020, Worlds runners-up in 2021, favorites to win that tournament as well. Like, that was the dominant
Well, you
era,
guys can watch this
and
stuff.
They only made it to 7, and Gen G are looking to move on to 10. Like, this is nuts.
Yeah, and when it comes to undefeated streak, you know,
across Neighbor, Afrika, and OPG.
I also got my Windows key working somehow with the League of Legends client running, so that's kind of cool.
Especially look at those Korean polls behind us. That the Gen G fan base has grown so massively.
Ah, I did a
over
bad
their
clip.
Dominant wins over the last 2 years. It is really big to see because that the Gen G you can see. So on the KR side, interestingly enough, actually favoring Gen G a little bit more. But I think you can see in a lot of ways, especially look at those Korean polls behind us, that the Gen G fan base has grown so massively. I feel
You can
over
cheat
their
and do this
dominant
too,
wins over
'cause
the
I
last
messed
2
it up.
years. It is really big to see because Gen
Or
G
no, you
had
can't.
their time on Samsung, but
Well,
now grown.
It's hard to clip these sometimes.
I don't think it shows you what the result of this match might be.
Incredibly close though. T1 fan
There we
predictions
go.
usually dominate, and that's even when matchups like this are pretty favored for their opponents in those rare cases.
Yeah.
You can see on the Korean side as well, hitting the 40s
Guess we'll
there across
need
Neighbor, Afrika,
Lolesports.
OPG. So on the KR side, interestingly enough, actually favored
That's
Gen G a little bit more,
14.14.
but
Now
you can
that's
see
kind of the
in a lot ways,
confusing
especially with
part
those
because
Korean
now
polls
I'm
behind us,
playing on
that
14.15 and it seems like Bran was nerfed. There's some changes.
It is really big to see because now T1, if they win this, as was mentioned in the pre-show, the rest of the season feels pretty simple. Sure, they lost to B&K in round 1. That was a big upset. That's their final opponent here.
So this is a game that, not a game, a match that T1 need to win, which I showed in my last VOD review was what, T1 versus DK, which was one that T1 had to win.
momentum going to the playoffs where you will inevitably face Gen G. If you're
Let me
going to
see something else here. Is my camera off? No, it looks like it's like turned a little bit or something. I don't know. Hey now.
There's a huge opportunity here for
matchups. They have a, even if they lose,
So into the draft number 1. I don't want to spend all day on this.
a better matchup here. Owner, I agree with Atlas on the desk earlier. Definitely the most consistent part of T1.
So Owner has the highest KDA, but 5th damage per minute, where Canyon's getting more gold per minute, or damage per gold, damage per minute. So Canyon's putting out a lot more damage than what Owner is. I don't really fall for KDA stats. Owner looks very nervous in this match. Canyon doesn't look nervous at all.
And you need to make sure that at least either top lane or bottom lane is a strong point that Owner
Canyon's putting it all at practice.
It's going to be tough. Faker's not on his best form right now. Toby's the best mid laner in the LCK, indisputably. I don't think that's where you're
So I'm sure if you're watching this, you know the results of this match.
A little bit tougher to do that against Chovy.
There was a famous thing of Faker that I've seen going around. I didn't exactly watch it or understand, but I'll get into it some, that Guma Yushi's kind of irritating at times, and I could see how Guma could cause some issues with Faker being irritated. Because he looked like he's trying to put it all on himself, and you can't do that in a game with 4 other people. Guma's got his Zinzao look today.
Really big highlight here on Guma's hair. It's getting pretty long. Maybe he's trying to grow it out. Wouldn't be surprised.
Your hair out long. Team this time around.
Trying to get into the draft.
And that gives them a lot of power. Some of the other picks here,
Okay.
Devi potentially, Rumble. They're going to take it away for safety.
1, 2, 3. So these are like priorities ranking, right? Like I'm ranking the priority to them. Like usually Rumble's the number 1 top red side priority ban, but Gen G must put more priority on Ashe. They don't want Guma or Carrier getting Ashe. Then these, I like to show groupings, or have players see that you pick in groupings. It differs on the sides. Like red side only gets 1 grouping, where blue side gets 2 groupings. So there's pros and cons.
Performances. You might want to, be a little bit.
So Gen G take away Vi from Owner, which is smart. T1 take away Lucian, which would be Chovy or Pays, or this could be flex to mid, I've seen. Take away Maokai from Canyon. And so T1 first draft Corki, which I think you have to take Corki away from Chovy. So then that puts, this is a new flex pick we see, is this Zeri, which can be flexed. We've seen Zeus play at top as well. So this Zeri could be, I'm sure Keen could play Zeri just fine. So Zeri could be flex top, mid, bottom.
Bit of a risk to try to play Draven mid.
And we get Nidalee, which I think is the strongest jungle pick right now, if you can play her. Just she's very, some might say Karthus. And stats will say other champions. But that's because she's probably not played.
AP jungle pick as we get the Kalista lock.
Yeah, Kalista just by herself. And
so let's see if Kalista is good in a Zeri first off. Kalista but is that mid lane? So Kalista is not good in the Zeri, we're being told. Also, we have Lilia, which I think is the first time we've seen it in LCK. Like this summer split. I mean, she's been played, but this summer split, or maybe like the second time.
Could be played in the top lane. We saw Keen was playing that against Bro, and you know maybe T1 take a little page out of their book and say, well, Zeus can do
So
that.
what
as
does
well,
it say? What does Lolesports say that Lilia is in Nidalee? Lily is a counter to Nidalee.
Could be Guma. What is this final pick gonna be?
I forgot one other one. Corki or Zeri and the Corgi. Zeri wins against Corki 65% of the time, so Zeri's a big Corki counter. So maybe T1 should have took Zeri mid or flexed her.
You mentioned the Renekton, but they're just gonna go for Cassante instead.
Yeah, they don't.
So
go for the
we
Renekton
get
here. They want to have a
Cassante.
stronger front line for this Zeri, and you know, the Kalista flexibility is definitely a potential concern about picking something like a Gnar that we've seen a lot of our weaker teams kind of lean on and play here in this.
Let's look and see what Lolesports picks as the tier list for top laners. Cassante's down a little bit, so saying Jax, Kennen, and Jace are stronger than Cassante. So they're saying Rumble's not as strong as Cassante. So, but the problem is you don't have challenger stats. You've got Grandmaster below.
But I don't think that is the case here against T1, especially with that Kalista face up. In terms of bans now, it's a little bit tricky. If you think that Kalista is going to go top, I don't think it is. I think
So
it is
Vayne, I think we've seen Vayne as a counter into Cassante. So T1 ban Misfortune for Pace.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much Twisted Fate. We've seen it here and there.
I don't know why the Kalista. I guess it's something targeted towards Pace. And maybe he's not good with Kalista or playing into Kalista. So we get a Leona ban, which Lahens, we've seen, can play Leona very well. He's one of the top supports in the world. Some people like to put him down that he's not good, but I think Lahens he makes some mistakes, but his leadership quality makes up for those mistakes. So this may be one of the mistakes that T1 just made, was letting the Senna through. Either banning the Senna and leave the Leona, or taking the Senna. They really, I guess they didn't have an opportunity to take the Senna. They could have taken the Senna over the Kalista. Because this game proved to me that how broken Senna is. So maybe let's look at the stats with Mordekaiser. He must be a Cassante counter, right? But I bet we're not going to find any stats on this is the problem. Oh, there. Cassante wins against Mordekaiser 100% of the time. But that's only 2 games. Only 2 games. Oh. trying to put them like in roles. You know, you got the top, jungle, mid. See Senna into Callista. Senna wins against Callista 100% of the time. Again, really bad stats because it's only one game, but it's better than no statistics at all. Some of you might value that as meaningless, and I understand because it's only one game. We don't have the data. Nautilus into Senna. So Nautilus is good into Senna, it's saying. That's 7 games. What else? You know, they're going to pick Ornn, so I'm a big fan of the Ornn support. I've got a VOD I did 2 years ago when I was working with GAM. And they ended up playing Ornn support. And then I also did a set one. They ended up playing set support, even though set was already kind of a big support over in Vietnam.
Amongst all the crazy picks he does.
The Ornn feels pretty easy here. You have such an insane front line for a real AD carry in mid, and then, you know, this insanely strong scaling Senna pick that will become this extremely long-range threat that you won't be able to get to very easily because you have to go through the Ornn that will be farming, you have to go through the Cassante, and you're also going to have this
so end the game number 1.
harassing you as you approach objectives. And in terms
How long have I been streaming? 45 minutes. Wondering if I should take my break now. And then, yeah, I may take my break before we get into the game. Because I don't want to do like bad analysis or try to rush through it because I know it's going to be a long game. So I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. And I'll leave you with my band from years back's demo. If you like the music, let me know. If you don't like the music, let me know. I cannot use the music. It doesn't really matter to me. The thing is I know that most of you streamers out there can't play music because you don't have your own. So I got a one-up on you. Alright, and I'm back to the next level with Sodaron. So here we are going into game 1 of T1 versus Gen G. Here we are with a live stream show without a live audience. So if you're just tuning in, I went ahead and did the draft for game 1. I did the analysis work here of some of the champion matchups and the win percentages from solo queue, which you can get from Lolesports or op.gg, which these are where these players practice, so you can get some of their data. They also have scrim data that we won't see, but they do play in solo queue, so you can kind of
If just one person in your family has type 1 diabetes, your kids are up to 15 times more likely.
I forgot to mute this. So you can get some data from these players where they play in solo queue. And we're into game number 1. First time seeing T1 play this Lilia. Want to check one other thing here. Okay. We've got Keen's Cassante, we've got Canyon's Nidalee, we've got Chovy playing Zeri mid. And this OP which T1's the first ones that did this, the Senna Ornn, which is very OP, which maybe this is what the Callista Nautilus is for, I don't know, to try to beat this Ornn Senna bottom lane. It looked like the stats weren't very good though for Ornn and Senna, or for Ornn into, or Nautilus into Ornn and Senna. Looks like she's pretty good. I don't know why they didn't take Renata Glask. Maybe they're trying some different things, and maybe this match isn't as important as some people think. This was just like a scrim. Maybe T1 know they need to work on some things, so you know, Gen G could be really confident here and lose in the finals. We've seen Chovy choke. Some people call him Chokey. I don't. But who knows, maybe a month from now when we've got the LCK Summer Finals, it'll be T1 and Gen G, and Gen G choke and T1 beat them. We've seen this repeatedly over and over and over, so I wouldn't take too much value in the results of this match. Looks like T1's trying some new things. Gen G, we don't really see them do too many new things. Most of you watching this probably know the results of this match, so I'm wanting to look and see what the losing team did wrong. So, looking at the vision in the beginning, this is what starts to tell the story of the game. Somebody's got a ward there. I'm guessing that was Ornn's ward, so Ornn comes up here and places a ward at like, I would say 45 seconds or 30 seconds, somewhere in there. You know, it takes 30 seconds just to run from here to there, so probably 45 seconds. And T1's got to have a ward somewhere, so I'd say Carrier's got their ward down here. But it looks like he's got the sweeper lens. Okay, so it looks like Carrier went down here to try to sweep out the ward. It's also this ward top, which Keen doesn't have one, that Zeus is going to put down. So I don't know if that's to prevent some type of invade early. That's what I would say. Gen G going 5-man top. Because I think this Mordekaiser is a counter into Cassante, at least early. Even though the stats don't show us anything. I mean, we could go back and look at older stats from like a couple patches ago, but we haven't seen Mordekaiser for a while. I know I've seen Coma jungle Mordekaiser a lot. Here there's only 4 games and it's even. So I'm guessing Cassante's or Mordekaiser's a Cassante counter, and it would make sense because you can use Mordekaiser's ult to basically keep Cassante from doing his ult, right? Put him in the death realm or whatever it's called. Death realm, realm of death. Put Cassante in the realm of death, and then he can't ult anyone. But one of the alarming things that I see, let me do early vision. Some of you probably don't care about this stuff, and that's fine. But if you want to get better at League of Legends, start paying more attention to this stuff. The first 3 minutes are like the most important of the game. And I'm sure I'll get better at this too, so it's taken me some time to realize and learn how to share my information and data with the world. So that's some of what I'm working on.
Once again, as the memes have already...
We see Lilia up here. Early, she probably path back down and start Raptors. She's trying to prevent Canyon from coming down here and invading into his blue buff or starting his blue buff.
Already, you know, started happening.
Carrier did get take advantage of the sweeper lens and get some vision swept out. So maybe that was probably Paze's ward sitting there, and this is Lens's ward, which this ward will help Chovy push his lane and shove his lane early, because he can play safe on this side of the map. Not so much on his right side, but on his left side. So Lens. Not such a good picture. I should have probably took a picture of the mini map and blew it up, but then you don't know what the timings are. This also helps prevent some type of invade from Canyon coming into T1's jungle. Again, if you're a jungler, you want to shut down the enemy jungler, and then you've got a 4 versus 5.
Off after T1 had their slump in the mid-season here in summer, but they're back. And I'm also on that train as well, especially because how well they feel.
And so I showed you earlier, I figured out Canyon's jungle route here. He starts the Raptors. And he can get level 4 by like 3 minutes and 45 seconds, which I can't even do that. It takes me 4 minutes. That's where I need more and more practice in my practice tool, and eventually I'll get it down to that timing, which is important. One thing I don't know why Guma takes barrier. I'm guessing it's for the level 1 and 2 trade and all in the bottom lane. But I think this costs Guma in this series, where he takes barrier every time. I think he needs cleanse for the Ornn alt is one reason, for the Cassante alt for another reason, for Senna's root for another reason, for a Nidalee trap another reason. I just think at this level of gaming, the highest level, I think the cleanse is more important, because you need it later on. You're gonna, unless T1's trying to win in 20 minutes in this game, because this series shows how strong Senna is. Just the later it goes, and with Ornn on top of that, with his ornaments, it's like Senna's almost unbeatable with Ornn if you get to 40 minutes in the game or longer, because her stacks start giving her further range and higher crit percentage. I think it's around 40 minutes she has like plus 80% crit chance, and then some crazy range that's OP, which is ridiculous for support, because I mean she's not even an AD carry, she's a support. Support champions are pretty OP.
Also had some weak games recently. So, what do you think, Wolf? I mean, is it just our finals again?
Nothing really going on. They're fanned out, trying to get information each other. So, owner invests his ward there at the T1 jungle entrance, which again will be important because they'll see Canyon come in. I'm mainly a jungle support main, so I am probably showing you some jungle favored stuff. Which invade doesn't mean like early game, it means like coming into their jungle and stealing farm.
good gauge as to what's possible, right? If T1 look great here, even if they lose, you know, maybe they will be stronger than Hanwha. If they win, not only could they be the ones who make...
Again, I talk about this over and over, but it's important. So there's a thing I call the line. That's not a good representation. The hard part's getting it like perfectly even, but you get the gist. It's perfectly even down the map, and I call it the line. And what I mean by that is this side of the map is red. Red side's map. This side of the map's blue side of the map. So anytime Faker goes over this line and is here, he either needs to have a flash up, a ward around, or a teammate, or he's a goner. Because if you, I mean, unless you see all 5 enemies are on the map and you know where they are, yeah, you can do it. But if you don't see Canyon, then you have to assume that he's in this brush or over here somewhere. I guess this brush is moved. There used to be 2 brushes right here on the side. Now, one thing about Corki is his phosphorus bomb, his Q, allows him to lane safe in the middle. That's one reason why I think Corki's played so much, is he can Q this all the time and see if he's getting ganked. Or whatever brush is over here. So it looks like the pro junglers are starting on Raptors. That it's the most efficient 1 to 2 camp starting out. You don't need a leash.
Also, you know, it's going to give you the feeling like maybe they could defeat Genji this time around after getting so close in spring. It was mentioned earlier, the Pays stats, by the way, just want to refresh everyone on this. 3 kills away from...
So I showed you in the beginning. We'll see this in both matches. Trying to get this Canyon jungle route. So he starts at the Raptors, gets 1 to 2, comes over here, invades, comes back, gets level 4 at like 3 minutes and 45 seconds without the crab, which is, I can't even do it. I'm 15 seconds behind.
But also the fastest in terms of fewest games played.
So I'm inefficiently hitting my abilities on the jungle camps. I gotta clear that up, clean that up, get better. I don't see any Ghost Poro or Zombie Ward. Also, I saw Guma's got Demolish. I thought he took Demolish. That's not Demolish. Carrier has Demolish. But T1 want to aggressively win this bottom lane, is what it looks like to me. They're worried about this bottom lane. You can't let Ornn and Senna scale there for 30 or 40 minutes. And this match shows this. That may be right if you want to nerf something, nerf the Senna stacks and limit them, and maybe the ornaments. I've always said I think Ornn adds at least 10,000 extra gold in a game.
Faker ends up not really getting a great trade here in this.
Not at the beginning, but like 30, 40, 50 minutes in. Was it Chovy gets another deep ward here at the Raptors, which will give information on owner and where he's going to gank out of, like over here. So this also allows Chovy to play very aggressive. Notice how he's over the line, and he has pressure from Canyon as well, so he's allowed to play as aggressive as he is right here. How do you shut down T1? Well, you shut down Faker, and they're pretty much done. That's what, after this whole controversy of Faker here recently, after this match, kind of shows, like, does T1 need to be so Faker-oriented? does he need to trust Guma more and carry him more and his teammates, that he doesn't have to put the game on his back like he thinks. And some of it, these wards in Canyon. Okay. So it's like Faker's going to need to learn to trust his teammates more.
In this level 1.
That Guma can carry the game and win the match, or Zeus can win the game and help win the game and carry it out. That Faker just needs to be there and just not even win mid lane, just stay even, or can probably even get behind. So maybe these are some of the things T1 and Faker are needing to learn. I talked about it where I can't recall exactly what game, but we were looking at it. I think it was the Fox series where they perhaps could have taken Baron and they wouldn't because Faker wasn't on his 2 items. So I'm sure he had 4 people saying, all right, let's take Baron. We can take Baron. We can take Baron. And then the one mid laner, Faker, no, can't until I have my 2 items. And I think there's a lot of pressure on Faker this year because of the skin in the Hall of Legends. And he's wanting to live up to the expectations that Riot are painting.
This is definitely a pressure point where Owner could try to just go and use a...
So we're at 2 minutes in the game. And Canyon is level 2 and Owner is level 2.
Set of abilities, just Q, W.
Now notice, like I said, and I tried to show at the beginning of the stream, Canyon starts here, comes across the river, gets these camps. I think he gets the wolves, comes back, goes over here. So it's kind of a weird route. It's allowing Chovy to play so aggressive. I mean, you also have this Ornn Senna bot lane that can just sit there and scale all day long. So they're trying to get the top lane going. They're trying to get the mid lane going. Gen G, that is.
And then push Chovy back and give Faker an advantage. But otherwise, Chovy's just laning really well here.
I just wanted to show. I think I haven't played Lilia, but I'm pretty sure I could do the clear pretty easily, just the way her kit is. So Nidalee's very difficult to go in and get the first clear
so far in a matchup that can be quite
and hit the abilities correctly and be efficient. So I'm not on Canyon's level. I never will be, but I'm trying to get much better with Nidalee. I think that if you're really good with her, you can climb solo queue.
That spotted Nidalee going into Owner's jungle, and so Owner will know that he's got to go into Canyon's jungle here.
Chovy is pushing the wave so quickly that Fakers haven't used his Gatling gun to clear the minions and never able to use it to trade with Chovy.
And again, Chovy can play like this because he has Canyon over here and has this deep ward.
You saw in that last Gatling gun as well, Chovy's just able to walk it off and not take any damage.
And then you have Canyon putting a trap here for some extra vision. That's another reason Nidalee's so good. She allows extra vision. Lee Sin doesn't have that. He can reveal. And check brushes. One of the reasons why Lee Sin's so good is you don't have to face check brushes.
You can always choose your fights as Zeri, right? As Corki, it's like, okay, I'm getting...
You know, you've all had that experience in League of Legends. You just think, hey, I'll run over to the enemy jungle, and you go into a brush, and there's probably like 2 enemy players there, or the enemy jungler, and you're a goner. Where you could have thrown a Nidalee spear, or a Lee Sin Q, or put a ward down, and you wouldn't have died.
I'm throwing in a bomb, and Zeri's just like, well, I'm just not going to interact with you until you're cool.
Also, you have Owner going over here into Gen G's jungle, which allows this bottom lane to play so aggressive. So First 5 minutes, very, very important to get set up for the objectives. Professor Sodaron.
Downs are on, well, on cooldown. As Pays has not lost a game on Senna.
Zeri is really annoying to lane into.
And, ooh, that zap actually got him there. Faker struggling here in mid as Jonah Strong only wants to.
So, some of this, I think, the barrier on Guma is for this dive. They're gonna try to dive this bottom lane. They're gonna try to get vision on the dragon, the scuttle, get the scuttle crab, dive, and prevent Gen G from being able to take the dragon.
To watch this matchup of 280 carries in mid lane, understandably.
Bottom lane will obviously favor the Callista here, and owners over here will.
So we're at 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And again, I showed you in the beginning of this VOD. I tried to get this on Nidalee. And this is how much faster the Lilia is right now. Canyon's still level 3.
This lane pressure to steal the Gromp away from Canyon. Won't be able to set up a dive as level.
I don't remember what. I guess he gets the wolf camp to get the level 4. And then usually the pro junglers, they get their first back once they're level 4.
A huge advantage either way. Keen does have Cryo. It's really the mid lane where we're starting to see.
So there, finally, Canyon is level 4. He's like 15 seconds faster than I can do this, even with a takedown on the enemy jungle. So I've got some learning I need to do and practice to get at this level. Because you can practice the clears, and that's what I like about jungle is you can practice, or laning. You just can't really practice support so much in the practice tool. But I showed you how to practice laning. You can put an enemy champion in lane against them in the mid. This was something that I'd been complaining about 2 years ago, because you would go in the practice tool and it would put the enemy champion in the bottom lane and you'd have to practice in the bottom lane. Now you can practice all the roles. So I think it's very important. It should help us NA solo queue players elevate our skill. We just need to train and practice.
A matchup go very strongly in favor.
Again, another reason that Italy's so good. Leaves a free ward behind.
Of Gen G. And it's quite significant that he's going to get this.
Owner comes in here and sees his camp is gone. And Canyon also gets the scuttle crab. So I would say Gen G are going to get the void grubs, and Owner's going working his way down to the dragon pit.
So that they just died a 1 auto attack and a turret shot. He's still being hard pushed under that turret by Chovy,
which I don't know how good Nidalee is at taking the void grubs early.
Lilia, by the way, very fast at farming, even right from the
I would think she's good because I did him in the practice tool thing, but I did the dragon and the void grubs. I guess I didn't show all of it.
Might look for a false bomb off it. And that's another thing Zeri could do.
Might replay it.
What's good in this matchup is just simply avoid those.
Yeah.
So what am I trying to show? Just again, I go and look, well, what did Canyon just do? Except I didn't do it exactly where Canyon was. I did it on the blue side. Again, me. I don't have enough experience with Nidalee. I've played her in solo queue and won many games with her, but I'm just, that was a few years back. I'm not on Canyon's level. So trying to learn in the practice tool, you slowly get better at taking the camps down faster and faster, more efficiently. Weaving in auto attacks, hitting the spear, and then weaving in an auto. I missed, unfortunately we can't see this in the pro matches. And when I think the players streamed, they don't really show the efficient route that they would take. I think they're just messing around. So like I messed that up where I could have swiped and got all of them. So I could clean that up and get faster. I messed that wall up, I would have got over there faster. I mean, I even got, I don't know exactly what the XP is you get off a level 1. I need to pay more attention and research the XP you get early on takedowns. I don't think they're really big game changing. The Gromp is the toughest, the one that gives me the most difficulty. I think it does magic damage, right? I could have weaved an auto attack in there before I jumped forward, so I messed that up. Could take these down a little bit quicker and a little bit quicker. You know, also the vision looks different when you don't have the fog of war. Mess that up, I could probably hit the big Krug. Called Krugs, right? Mess that swipe up. I think at this point I recall I'm level 4, so I have enough gold to get Sorceress boots and Ash's Fate. I missed that trap right there on the crab. Just a lot of mistakes that I make. I don't get a takedown on the bot and think, well, I'm really good. Right, like a lot of solo queue players think. So then I decide, let's see how fast I can do the dragon and the void grub. So that's why I went back and went through this VOD or replay. So I got Faded Ashes and Sorceress Boots. Sorceress Shoes. Do the clear again. I try to hit the big raptor. Once once the first clear is over and you got an item, it's a lot easier. It's just the first like 10 minutes cleaning up your game, and the practice tool will make you a much better player. I wanted to see if I could take the dragon at level 5 or not. Nope. I'm still 2 minutes behind because you can take the dragon at 5 minutes when it's on the map. I don't know if she can do it at level 4 without the Faded Ashes, which gives you dealing damage with abilities, causes enemies to burn for 5 magic damage per second for 3 seconds. It does extra damage to monsters. So she could do the dragon easily once she has Sorcerer's Shoes and Faded Ashes. I don't know if she can. I think she could do it without the Sorcerer's Shoes at 5 minutes, maybe at level 4. Might need help from a bottom laner, which probably is why teams might be off by 2 minutes, taking the dragons and void grubs. Boy, she's fun to play once you can hit those spears. I'm sure I'm missing some auto attacks in between. You could take these camps down a little bit quicker. To me, again, you're trying to beat the game in 20 minutes or close it out in 20 minutes or try to close it out before people can surrender is even more fun. That's making a statement. That's being on the next level, is when you can close games out before 20 minutes. So we're just looking to see how she does with the void grubs, because I'm sure Canyon's going to go take the void grubs in the game we're watching. Now I am level 6. It's 9 minutes in the game. Teams are usually starting to void grubs around 6 minutes. I think they give the junglers some pretty good easy XP. You know, I'm almost double the gold value of Zyra. I think that's how you judge this game, is by the gold on the players and teams. So she took the void grubs pretty easily. That's all we were looking at. Hey now. So we're a minute and 32 seconds. Okay. So back into the game.
Just don't interact until you're ready to.
Because a minute and 15 seconds from now, Canyon will probably go for void grubs.
Until you go for the
Carrier misses a Q.
when there is a massive minion wave. A little bit questionable.
Now this bottom lane is overextended over their vision they have. They don't have any. They really need some vision down here. One reason I think why is Canyon's here. That allows them to overextend like this over, you know, the line that I talk about. A lot of this, I think, is because Canyon is around. Chovy and Faker's teleports are down.
I don't think this bottom lane will be in a lot of trouble, but the Senna Ornn feels
So both junglers are on there.
nice, especially, you know, when we saw
Ashes, Faded Ashes. And here comes Canyon for a dive. Misses his Q. Guma already used his barrier.
Nearly catches him as Guma, just cool as ever, doesn't have to flash or anything, but he is going to be pushed out of this wave.
Yeah, this is really rough. This is not what you want, and your Callista into Senna lane is actually, you're the one who's being...
Also, you had Chovy coming down here too. Faker teleported. Guma's barrier is down. Carrier's ignite is down. Chovy's teleport is down. And Pays and Lahins have their summoner spells up.
Being pressured by the enemy jungler. Now you see a rush up from Owner towards the top side of the map. He's going to
I could get more into this canyon wave. You know, you've got this cannon minion here from T1, so I don't think you can dive this Nautilus. And the Gen G don't have their cannon minion.
there. I think the best he could hope for here is stopping.
So they can't dive. Apparently, you need the cannon minion to dive.
Forward here, and we'll get some consolation krugs, as we like to call them here at the LCK. Chovy hits level 6.
So Keen uses his teleport top. Guessing he's not going to come try to take the dragon.
That's going to be a big swath of gold he's going to get.
And Zeus swaps lanes. So
he doesn't really have a ton of kill pressure, even with his level 6 all-in.
Guma and Carry are going top into the Cassante. So I'm guessing the Callista and Nautilus didn't work. Remember, we looked at the stats at the beginning. Also, you have Owner taking the Void Grubs first. No dragon yet. Good opportunity for Gen G to come down here and take dragon.
And I really just like that itemization here coming through as...
Might not be good for Guma either because his barrier's down. And you're walking into Cassante's ult. Which I would think cleanse disables Cassante's ult or gets you out of the ult. And maybe T1 also value these Void Grubs.
But it is what you can get when your bottom side is a little bit in tatters.
So T1 are going to get behind by 5 minutes now because they lose first dragon to Gen G.
Exactly right. I don't think that Mordekaiser and Cassante are going to be...
So this dragon's really going to help this bottom lane scale. The Senna Ornn.
Unless Zeus gets massive or team does. But yeah, Chevy's just going to return here. We do have the trade of objectives as the Cloud Drake did go the way of Gen G.
Which I'm more of a fan of the dragon than I am the Void Grubs or Rift Herald. Those are like silver place prizes, and the gold is the dragon.
But with the lane swap protection, it's so much tougher to make this actually viable right now.
Plus that gives Canyon more movement speed as well. So you also got plus 5% movement speed. That's going to be very helpful for, well, everyone on Gen G. Like Canyon running around, poking you. Chovy able to run out. Which I'm sure Senna moves very slow, so that'll help Senna. I think a lot of people say the Cloud Drakes are the most important, so I think T1 kind of get unlucky there where they gave up a Cloud Drake for the Void Grubs.
Who did, you know, itemize MR.
I'm guessing they couldn't because they were going to lose and get Dove bottom, so that's why they had to change and go for Void Grubs.
Because he's, you know, laning into a Mordekaiser, but still, I think he will be able to stave off this pressure pretty well.
Lilia has the level advantage over Canyon right now, but Canyon doesn't matter. He still gets level 6 right there. He doesn't lose anything.
As the lane was pushing into Chovy. Chovy doesn't seem to... I don't know if he's been hit by one phosphorus bomb yet. I don't know if it's happened.
Yeah, I haven't really seen one myself. Plated Steel Caps allows Faker to feel a little bit more comfortable pushing forward like this. As let's see, Demolish is set here.
So this isn't gonna, these boots aren't gonna help Faker's damage at all. It means he's having a tough time in the mid lane. I'm guessing they're allowing him to shove aggressively now. He's not taking so much poke damage.
You can grab a plate. Guess we won't see, but I'm keeping my eye on the minimap.
Zeus gets Ornn ulted. He does have a flash.
He's watching. The knockup's going to come in a root as well, but this is Mordekaiser who might just pull someone.
It did a lot of damage to Zeus.
Lahen's in a bit of trouble, but
and Gen G also have Canyon coming down here to help dive or whatever is going on.
There's just not enough time on the level 6 ult, so Zeus is going to back away. Meanwhile, Fate's Call is going to be used up in the top side, and a lot of action, actually. Zoner's on the top side here as well, trying to threaten Keen. All Out is down, but Zeus also being pressured under his turret. Who's going to be the
I think
first
Zeus
top
is
laner
going to
to
get
fall
dove.
is really the question as the sleep will come in, but the Senna ult helping a bit. A lot of tanking goes in from Guma as Keen is very low, but no kill just yet. Another plate to go down, and finally it will come through. First blood, and Zeus will go down as we
So
expected,
both
but
top
first blood
laners
does
get
go to
dove
T1.
and taken down, so pretty even trade so far. Again, the Callista Nautilus looked like it was struggling, so they had to lane swap.
This ends up being a pretty good trade for T1 because they get both the first blood as well as those additional plates topside. As Keen plays this incredibly well, pulling Carrier into the Fate's Call essentially as that's traded.
Owner
there.
missed
So that
the
means he
bowling
doesn't have his
ball,
ultimate,
whatever
but Owner's
her E
follow-up
is.
here has a fantastic flash though, as Guma takes a ton of aggro, the Senna ult comes through, and then look at the ramping turret damage here this early in the game. Owner loses half of his health bar, but they still juggle the follow-up incredibly well. Guma picks up the kill, will pick up some plate gold. Zeus buys a ton of time here. He's losing a ton of farm though at the same time, and will be pays picking up plates in the exchange. He almost gets out here, but is eventually run down.
I think if he doesn't turn to get a grab and just dodges,
So Carrier gets spotted out on a ward. He doesn't have the sweeper lens here.
please survive. Pace still
It
has
looks
flash,
like
so I feel like
T1's
if
gonna
he stays
lose
flash, they
a
get
control ward.
Perhaps, maybe he does get away in some universe.
I think in a lot of ways you can contextualize this as a slight win for T1 in gold, and you can see
So
that
T1 they
gold.
dive top, get
The
some
problem is
plates,
that-
and then come back. Which I didn't look at the itemization at the time of what Carrier's boots were, or if Guma had the Zerker Greaves and Vampiric Scepter and the recurve bow. Senna's on her serrated dirk and has her swiftness boots, and then Ornn's got his Warden's mail already. So I'd say Ornn is much tankier, right? He's sitting on 65 farm, so he's going to be much tankier than Nautilus at this point. And also Senna, Ornn have more movement speed too because of the Cloud Drake, which I'm sure Faker's not happy about playing into Chovy with a little bit more movement speed.
So while a small win here, I feel like the game state still pretty even, feels pretty good for Gen G.
Yeah, I think at this point either team could.
Keen gets his Spectre's Cow, and that's something too. I'm just looking at these boots, right? Because that'll help him into Cassante and Zeri and Senna. It's not going to help with Nidalee Spears. It's not going to help with Ornn's damage. But that's probably the right itemization. But what I was just saying, is that going to really help him lane into Cassante or not? Yeah, I guess that would.
Run away with this one, but we'll have to wait and see how this mid game does play out at this point in time. Obviously, a decent amount of scaling on the side of T1 as well, but I like that you highlight the ornaments that will.
I feel like Mercury treads most of the time are a better pick overall, just depending if you can close the game out or not. But if you got like a 30, 45 minute long game, like the Mercury treads are probably better for the team fights. But this is probably a tough matchup here for Zeus, so he needs those, just like Faker needs the boots too, laning into Chovy.
As we look at mid once again, we're not
And
seeing it as
so
much
Gen
from
G
Faker
look like
yet.
they're going to get the second Void Grubs uncontested from T1, and unfortunately as well, they're on the Scuttle Crab, so plain sight right in front of T1. This also is making Zeus lose farm. Like, he might need to just keep farming here, because at this point I don't think T1's going to be able to do anything here. Let's see, the dragon's up in a minute. Like, it might be more beneficial for Owner to come down here and get ready to take this dragon instead of trying to get this, do anything to the Void Grubs. I'm just saying it might be a waste of time here.
You know, holding his own at this
By the
point.
time T1 can get to the Void Grubs, will be gone.
Trying to get some of their own, and Guma forced to flash down the bottom side
So
by
the
himself.
Ornn ult is down.
Owner up on the top side here. They might be able to pick
Oh.
up 5 grubs for the side of T1. as it looks like they will.
Yeah, that's a pretty huge win here for T1. Able to get this. Yes, they lost a flash bottom side,
But they're gonna lose Dragon now. Like, see, I think T1 should have just went straight for Dragon.
With a turret will end up being quite significant. Again, tough to do.
And that's what like Canyon did. Oh, Canyon gets caught by a nice carry Q.
Doesn't care.
He's actually pressuring Carrier. As a bowling ball just awkwardly rolls by. Canyon wants nothing to do with that.
Gen G have a lot better,
aren't we all?
or had a lot better prep vision for this Dragon pit.
So maybe not the best. He's a hockey
The
fan.
Ornn ultimate is down, so might be one reason why. I don't know why Canyon backed off from
Turn
this.
this lane around after the plated steel caps has been able to put a little bit of pressure on. Now that Chovy has an item though, he's going to put more pressure on.
I think Gen G could have just straight up took the Dragon,
Almost all in there. Chovy has his ultimate and flash.
and I don't know why Canyon backed off. Maybe they're just
Took back control, now weathering again as
bored and playing around.
Chovy is Zeri and had the ability to get away there, but just doesn't even bother as the hook does miss. We do have this Mountain Drake spawned, and Chovy is putting on an immense amount of pressure in mid. We do have TP available.
Chovy's getting ahead of Faker.
Back in and they try to fight for this,
Plus
but
he's on one item where Faker
that
is
fight does
not.
Go for the Mountain Drake as Owner is set up in position to go for it.
Chovy got that extra plate. Shiv early.
Guma's flash is down. Faker just teleported. Zeus' flash is down, but he has teleport up. Keen just barely has flash down. Chovy's teleport is down, and Lahin's flash is down. Yeah, T1 go for the Dragon on top of Scuttle Crab Vision.
Not willing to take a fight. They already bought 5 minutes of time with that first Dragon. I say that though, Lahenz is going to come over and mess around. Does have unsealed, but no smite set, and they are just going to give this up.
Carrier being brave, standing over this wall up
They
here.
got a plate and bot, maybe two. I think it's just one actually, as it's Ocean Soul, so their gamble will kind of pay off.
So this will either put Gen G behind by 5 minutes or T1 behind by 5 minutes. But it's even now. Dragons.
It's just the one Mountain Drake that goes to T1, and I suppose
Even though the Cloud is more beneficial early with the movement speed, people would say. I don't necessarily agree, but most people say the movement speed is the best stat in the game, or the hardest stat to get.
That's a phosphorus bomb hitting.
Yeah, it does. As Chovy certainly threatening to go for an ult. Had Canyon nearby as well, closer than Owner, as we know. So wasn't scared to take that trade by any means.
Canyon is not scared of Faker.
Owner does have his Leandries a little bit faster.
Canyon had to take Mercury treads in this game.
If he's not able to fight any enemy champions, as it's
The Lily ult, the Mordekaiser ult, the Nautilus ult.
And Rylai's is done here for Mordekaiser, so you know this is a very strong.
Chovy had a call and stacked it already at 13 minutes and 50 seconds, which if you play solo queue, you know that's not easy to do. Probably takes you 20 minutes to stack one.
I've seen this combo before where it's like, okay, you want to poke into us, but then we just heal everything because we have double healing champions that are also fantastic in the later stage of the game. But either way, we are going to get this TP up from the side of Zeus.
So let's see what spells and stuff are up. Zeus' teleport is down. Faker's teleport is down. Guma's flash is down. Again, these players can time the ultimates and time the summoner spells so they know when the enemy's summoner spells are down and they make a play. Nice vision here from Gen G. Got some very deep vision. Again, they don't just straight up take this stuff because they decide. They do have to prep vision first before you can really take an objective.
As it does look like they do want to go for the...
Oh, we were looking at the ultimates. Okay. So Zeus' teleport is down. Faker's teleport is down. Guma's flash is down. Carrier's ignite is down. Keen's teleport is down. Lahin's teleport is down. And Chovy's teleport is down. It looks like Keen is engaging Carrier or got queued by Carrier. Ornn ultimate is coming in. Yes, the Ornn ult whiffed. So Canyon gets the Rift Herald here. Okay, Lahens gets ulted by Mordekaiser. Poor Keen gets caught behind, so he can't do anything. Looked like he used his flash already, so he couldn't flash back over the wall. So Gen.G gives some gold over to T1, and now the game's getting back to more even. 400 gold.
Committed to the fight, and then we're still successful there. Again, Corki not very strong just
This
yet,
vision is allowing Guma to play so overextended and take this turret.
Of course, a ton of damage output at this stage in the game. You can see Gen.G have Keen set to front line here. Lahens drops the Ornhorn down, but is pulled by Carrier here, so unable to activate it. And then you see Guma doing tons of damage to Keen, who's forced to flash. A very late to the objective by T1, a very late join. They still end up grabbing the kill.
As Gen.G procced the Rift Herald in the mid lane. They got some damage on the turret.
Unfortunately, though, the Herald did go over, looks like charged mid.
Yeah, did a bunch of damage to this
So
turret,
Faker's on his Trinity Force now, which Corki's power spike is 2 items. He's got to have the Manimune and the Trinity Force before he really does any damage. That's game turning, game winning. Senna's on her 1 item already, Edge and Knight. I don't know what this magic resist item is. I need to take a look that Keen takes, but he's forced to take this magic resist item because he's playing into Mordekaiser. One thing I think that maybe Mordekaiser did wrong in this game was he needed a Zhonya's Hourglass, maybe 2nd item or 3rd item. Would have changed the game. Canyon takes Zhonya's 2nd, which normally you don't see that, and I think it's important to have some type of engage or disengage.
Triforce is done here for Faker, and his tiers well stacked, but he doesn't really have the pieces of the Muramana just yet. That's going to be, I think, where T1 really want to hit hard.
So I think Carrier got spot out by some vision right there, just barely.
50 seconds until this dragon spawns here. Gen.G looking to group.
So dragon in 50 seconds. Teams need to get this dragon pit prepped up. Zeus' teleport is down. Guma's barrier will probably be back up by dragon. Keen's flash is down.
They want to wait. They want to sit back, whereas T1 are like, okay, we want to hit this Corki spike hard. So we'll see how these two things clash, especially with the Ocean Soul. I think that Gen.G can give a couple of Drakes away and not feel too bad about it. But let's see how the fights actually break out.
Chovy's getting way ahead of the 100 or 10 CS per minute.
Yeah, it's going to be a catch here on a Carrier who is in a bit of trouble as the...
Okay, they wanted to get Guma, but they got Carry instead, so they couldn't all in. Carrier had to have smarter Carrier to cue that cannon minion to get out of that fight. But this is where I think the barrier is going to screw T1 in this game. They needed the cleanse, because Guma gets caught out at least once or twice that I recall seeing. That could have just turned the game. It was... This game now that I'm looking at it looks a little bit different than when I saw it live, because it looked like T1 were easily winning this game, but they weren't. It's been close so far. You know, now T1 are ahead, but this has been a close game. At some points in the game, you think T1 have this game in the bag,
as maybe T1 will reconsider, but no, they've got all 5 members around this area. So now Lehens is going to walk towards Kalista. Got to be careful about that, as Guma will punish quite a bit. Looks like a 5v5 brewing for this first Ocean Drake.
So one advantage T1 have is the scuttle crab vision. Like I said, there's got to be some type of stat that shows the percentage of the win of the Void Grubs or Rift Herald or Baron or Dragon, that if you have the scuttle crab vision, that you, it's probably like 80 or 90% that you're going to win. Carrier gets a Q on Keen, and he gets ulted, so Keen is a goner. So that should allow T1 to take his dragon. And so if T1 get this dragon, it'll put Genji behind another 5 minutes. So now Genji's behind by 5 minutes.
Super low. It looks like he will get away with this. He can just slide over the wall. If anyone tries to go for a punish, we'll scout with his extendo. This might be a bridge too far.
Yeah, they're actually trying to ult this as well.
That hit the right person. Lehens was just practicing Ornn ulting Guma, which he'll need later on in the game.
As meanwhile, they're going to have Keen TP down to the bottom lane to stop this turret from going down.
It was a pretty peculiar decision from Keen to try to engage there in that last fight. I feel like Genji were in prime position to continue to poke and continue to utilize those Nidalee spears to slow T1 down. And then once T1 get corral on the pit, that's when you go in. That's when they don't really have a lot of space.
So what else do I say? Once the first turret's down the mid game, then that means the mid laner and top laner side lane, and the AD goes mid.
The sleep comes through. Almost looks like Hayes kills him, ironically, but he's trying to give him some additional shielding there to actually survive the damage. And that's the dragon going over.
So now Genji have the scuttle crab vision over the dragon, but the dragon's not up for another 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Guma's on his 2 items now, because this is where the Baron comes in, right? At 20 minutes, the Baron's up, but you gotta have normally 2 items on your carries to take the Baron.
As well. It felt like he was very confident that they were going to win that fight, even if he did miss the stun. But
the other problem
so Canyon's kind of behind. Owner's getting close to 2 items. Mordekaiser's getting close to 2 items. Faker's getting close to 2 items. Finally, Canyon gets his Seeker's Arm Guard. He decides he goes on his Hourglass second, which is very smart. You've got Sleep and Death Realm and Nautilus Ultimate and Q. You got to try to dodge. You get hit by a hook, you're a goner.
Have an insane amount of Baron damage with Kalista, Lilia, and Corki, and they also have Mordekaiser to trap Canyon. I mean, maybe if the timing is right, yeah.
It's not impossible. They don't have
extremely.
I would say a big difference in support tanks, right? You've got the Frozen Heart, Spectre's Cow versus the Gargoyle Stone, Giant Belt, and the support item, Ruby Crystal. The Faker's on his fully stacked Manumune, so I would think Faker's ready to take Baron. Now Mordekaiser still needs to get his full item, but from what I see, like, T1 won't take the Baron unless Faker has his 2 items. So Faker's ready to go regardless if his teammates are ready or not. Usually they look like they're ready. They're always waiting on Faker. Guma's flash is down, so good out of the Keen. Just got Guma's flash.
Well, he will get in there as Keen gonna be pulled back by the Mordekaiser. Gotta be careful, getting very low.
I mean, he has that Rookern, but it's not gonna last too long against all this magic damage, the AP damage coming through. They get the kill onto Lehens. He has teleport, doesn't have his ultimate, which was shut down again in that fight, so no value there. But I think that T1's still gonna respect the possibility that, you know, if they try to do this Baron, Genji wins a team fight.
So Chovy's flash is down. If he gets caught out or mispositioned, it's probably not good. I think maybe Genji know that T1 won't go for this, so this might be bait for a team fight. Zeus finally got his Leandri, so here he comes teleporting in. They should be able to win a team fight against T1.
Keen gets a turret. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's a good trade for Gen G. They will just send Zeus down there.
Because Zeus is now on Rylai's crystal and
I mean, starting
his
to build towards
Leandri's.
some lifesteal here.
Perhaps they're waiting
Very
on
starting
Owner to
line,
get
and I
his
keep
second
mentioning
item.
Zeri, you know, because if T1 don't get to have the fights they want with this Kalista Corki 2-item spike on the Corki, then Gen G just becomes so difficult because their comp is so robust. But if you fight like this and you're super split, you don't clear all
Pretty
your
brave of
combo
Faker
builds
to
and
just
lands,
teleport
you'll
into
just die again
Canyon
here
and
in this game.
Pays.
He's cut off. Keen wasn't there. It's a really unfortunate moment there for Gen G. They aren't able to take Baron. Gen G start a Baron, they get a teleport, get a turret. Very close game still.
Yeah, TP now into mid. This one from Chovy. So
The bowling ball goes pretty far.
he wants to be on the split
I've not played much of Lilia.
wants to be ready to go if we do start
Dragon
up the
is
fight
live
away.
now.
And it seems like Gen G want to do exactly that here on this Ocean Drake.
Lehens has
Gen G
Smite
don't
set
have
on
any
his own
vision
shield.
behind
He's
the
ready
pit
to potentially double
back
smite
here.
This one with Canyon here. A lot of damage. That combo very difficult to steal this one away as T1. Chovy?
Oh, the
Really, it comes up to what summoner spells are up and not. Like, Guma's flash is down, so if he gets caught out, he's a goner. He'll instantly get deleted off the map. Zeus's flash is down. Owner's flash is down. Chovy's flash is down. Lehens has his smite up. You also have to remember the double smite, too, is going to really help take these objectives. The Dragon and the Baron.
Carrier, they're gonna catch Chovy, and he's
Chovy gets Lilia ulted. Looks like.
should be going down. Down he goes. As meanwhile, Gen G trying to do something in mid, but Guma's just hopping away. Keen trying to go 1v3.
So the barrier did help Guma there. Guma and Carrier survive pretty nasty trade. But I do recall when he gets Ornn ulted one time that I think was game deciding, where maybe he needed the cleanse.
But at the end of the day, it's 2 kills for the side of T1. Carrier still on.
Let's see. I guess he needed barrier there to survive.
Gen G trying to do
But
something
if he
in mid, but
died,
Guma's
it
just
wouldn't
hopping
have
away.
really changed too
Keen trying to
much.
go 1v3 here, nearly takes down Faker. But at the end of the day, it's 2 kills for the side of T1. Carrier still on the chase here.
So I'd like to see T1 just take the dragon that's up.
And slowly and surely he's going to survive, actually. Does not burn down.
They're looking for a Baron.
Maybe gonna go for a Faker's
Oh,
doing.
Faker was trying to get the dragon, so
Does not have
T1
teleport, and I don't know if they
looks
want-
like they kind of turned on Faker's call here because he wanted dragon.
It looks like he was seen on a ward. Gen G do know. They're going to come over here and contest this. Lehens has no ult, though. This is going to be a Hail Mary. He has smite, but no flash.
Yeah. How does he get over the wall? Well, I guess he's just gonna try to walk in from the top side. That's not gonna happen. I think he might just have to go over to Canyon on the steal as the spear.
So, also Rend is going to help you, the Callista, help claim objectives. So you got double smite versus Rend and smite. I don't know if that was the right play exactly because Faker wanted dragon. Like, I think T1 could have got the dragon and the Baron here.
But no, with the Callista, an easy secure here for
So
T1.
hopefully the T1 get the dragon here, but looks like they're going to give the dragon over to Gen G.
He's playing Nautilus. We talked about Nautilus, Callista. Carrier's been a good Nautilus. And
So there was, maybe this is some of why Faker hitting his head on the wall afterwards because they don't listen to him. I think T1 could have, I think I'm seeing what Faker was seeing here, that in this, Faker was taking the dragon and the other 4 ran to Baron, right? Well, it was like Senna and Ornn and maybe Canyon. And I think Faker was thinking, we take the dragon and then Gen G will start the Baron and then we'll be able to get up here in time to steal the Baron from Gen G. So the T1 players kind of got premature here, not thinking the long-term goal. And so now they're going to lose dragon, where they could have got the dragon and the Baron. Maybe even beat Gen G in a team fight and close the game out. So I would say some of that's why Faker was banging his head up against the wall. I would too if I was Faker.
It's going to come with it, and the fact that it's just a second Ocean Drake here, so you got something back at least. But T1, this is the lead you wanted to snowball. They found.
I don't think you want to let Senna and Canyon have the Ocean Souls, Lens and Cassante.
Smothered them in 2 games. One was 26, one was 24. So
because the Baron, you got the Baron buff, but it's kind of bait too, where you can win team fights and then close the game out. So at least T1's over here getting the blue buff from Gen G and pushing out the waves. Jovi's missing, he was pushing top lane. Keen's pushing bottom lane, so that allows T1 to take the middle turret. Because this is where it looks like, well, this is T1's game. They're 3k ahead. They got Baron. But I repeat over and over how important the dragons are. The Dragon Soul and the, or Elder. But Elder's more for like turning the game and you lost the Dragon Soul. But I think when you're playing, you don't want to get 30, 40 minutes in the game to hope that you can come back. You just want to be able to win in 20 or 30 minutes. So Canyon's on a Zonya's Hourglass. He's Owner's on a Seeker's Arm Guard. So probably a good power spike difference there from Canyon versus Owner. The T1 have the Baron buff here, so you would think that they should be able to win this fight. But some of that's you gotta catch, you gotta get the enemy caught in your wave, this big wave here. So you gotta fight them in your wave, which I don't see. Saw some of it. That's why Canyon's probably gone and Ornn's probably gone. So Faker's getting some hard carry. Starting to look like Caps is quirky a little bit here. So you're hoping here like T1 can get up and get an inhibitor or something from Gen G. Like Faker knows this is my window. I should be shoving these turrets down. He's gonna get caught out. Doesn't have flash. Oh, he doesn't get caught out. So here come Zeus and Guma. This is where it's like, well, T1 have this game in the bag.
Speaking of trying to make plays, we saw a pretty good one from Keen in the last fight, but at the end of the day, Hook is gonna miss. If he hits that wall, I think maybe he
Chovy's missing, pushing the top lane out, getting some farm, which is gonna put Canyon behind too.
This fight was super broken up, very messy. The double TP here, Keria looks like he's a little bit out of position, but with double TP you could turn the numbers game on this one real fast.
Owner was a little bit late because he was getting his blue buff. Let's see what happens to Guma. Guma has barrier. His barrier, he used barrier.
But Baker kills the Nidalee, and he was like, "Oh, wait, we are still fighting. I'm gonna show up." Mets up the Valkyrie. That part wasn't great.
I don't think the barrier helped Guma very much there.
Toby's moving right here. Doesn't come down quickly. He's scared of Faker. Keen's still going in. Maybe could have waited for Pays there a little bit, and then Faker just shows up, cleans up house. Very broken up, but very solid turn here from T1. I think if Faker hadn't chased Nidalee, maybe the fight's even more one-sided, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, though, eliminating the Nidalee early means a lot of less heals, a lot of less damage. I think that
so Dragon back up in 15 seconds, Baron in 38 seconds.
Not again, my God. Not again.
Guma's flash is down, his barrier is about to come back up, Faker's teleport is down.
As Owner
Zeus's flash is down. Keen's flash is down. Canyon's flash is down. Chovy's flash is down. Pays' flash is down. Lahin's flash is down. No smite up for Lahin's. Keen gets ulted from Lilia. Okay, so Guma gets Ornn ulted there. Faker gets Ornn ulted. The carries for T1 were doing pretty well right there with their positioning, staying out of harm's way.
Should eventually be able to take these two out, I would imagine, or at least keep them around in time for Guma to come over. As the Lilia so slippery, just gonna run away. That's fine as well.
Nice word there. So
much with Leandri is just constantly applying that to these frontline tanks. And now T1 eyes on the Baron here, potentially TP coming through from Faker.
that trap doing a lot of work here from Nidalee, just having free vision. I think that's one reason she's OP'd.
He doesn't have flash, so it's a one-way trip.
Faker's just so bad. I mean, like, he's disabled a Valkyrie into people now. He's 5-0 and 7, matching Owner, who's also throwing bowling balls over the wall. He's so low. Yeah, there's just no way.
So this is where you're like, well, T1 won this game.
To clear ward. T1, I feel like, pretty much locked this one up. Looking back at this fight, Keria goes in super deep, right? And it looks like, okay, the front to back is online. Pays and
Guma had barrier.
But it's the ult from Zeus happens in the moment's time here after Keria goes down. When Chovy chases and goes in, that just prevents him from really getting any value in this fight. It talked about how there's not great targets. It's hard to get on top of the Zeri as the Mordekaiser. But if the Zeri gets on top of you, then it's a lot easier. And then
they focus Chovy here.
Some additional damage, but it's really just his ult. There's too many threats here, and Owner's Leandri's damage is a taking on everybody.
Owner does a lot of work on Lilia. Like, he may be a little bit overly aggressive here in this game.
Goes down here, but is able to buy enough time, as you say, for those 80 carries to come up.
You know, he seems like a player like.
And now we're talking about inhibitors here. They have really
Owner looks like a guy that works out a bit, does push-ups, works out, fitness. Canyon, on the other hand, I don't know if he does push-ups, sit-ups, and works out. I don't know. Just saying, like, one of them, I think, like, T1 have a gym, and they've showed they do fitness training, and I think Owners showed that. So there's maybe a little bit difference in the attitude of, like, Owner versus Canyon. Like, Canyon's more, like, chill and calm, and things don't get to him. And Owner kind of gets worked up a bit, and adrenaline rush. Which Guma seems like that a little bit too. And then you start making mistakes, positioning, being over aggressive. So Dragon up in a minute 44 seconds. T1 can't do anything to get into Genji's base, which is not a really good sign.
That he's able to get so consistently, they can just
You've got the ornaments coming in now from Ornn's passive.
Being able to just isolate a single target, namely, you know, if it's Chovy, that's fantastic because he's the one who has to really get the damage done. Pays is getting more range, right? He has his LDR. He is a threat somewhat, but it's still not the same kind of threat that Chovy is, and he can't get it done alone.
So T1, I guess, are investing to get this turret down and break into Genji's base and take whatever farm they can. Or jungle from Genji. So Faker just gets caught out by the Ornn ultimate there. His flash is down, so great play on Lahin's at Genji. Guma's flash is down. I think Zeus is just creating a distraction right here. So this Faker getting caught out here, it starts to turn the momentum a little bit for Genji.
Valkyrie's early here.
So Lehen's got the right guy. Keen was right there in his face.
It's just an easy lockup here for Lehen's. And then their owner's like, well,
Pretty neat little comp Gen G are running with the Nidalee, the Cassante and the Ornn, and then they have the Nidalee running behind, and the Zeri and the Senna. Like the good positioning.
He's just going to be pulled back into the team. The Cassante gets the jump on him, and owner is dead.
So
And now Gen G have prevented
T1 are going to lose the Dragon and put them behind another 5 minutes here.
trying to push maybe mid here to get an inhibitor in return, but again, it's so risky. By the way,
You know, you're getting in the area of the Dragon Soul now, so you're letting Gen G back into the game. They're 4K gold behind, but one more Dragon and they got the Soul as well.
that's 5 more minutes of time for ornaments to come through.
5 minutes.
T1 were really
Putting T1 5 minutes behind. You can't let the Senna scale this long or the Ornn scale this long. Like 40 minutes into the game, 50 minutes into the game, they're just OP. The range on Senna. I guess you want to play lower tier solo queue, start playing Senna, because you're going to play 30, 40 minute long games. Senna's good. Ornn is good.
It's partially because there were a couple of shutdowns. They got the Faker one in top, and then they just got owner in bot. So it's a lot of extra gold going into your carries. Peas, you know, he just got fewest kills, 1,000 kill. Well, guess what his 1,000th kill was? It was on the super fed Lilia. So a ton of gold goes over to the Senna, who is out of her
Yeah,
twelve
I
and is ready
took
to
some
go.
like
15,
more in-depth
almost
notes,
16.
and I didn't even bring them up.
And Gen G, I mean, there's a world now where they win this game.
Yeah, no, they absolutely could. Especially if they start getting some map control back here, Baron in a minute. Yeah, he is huge. He has 160 extra range, plus 80% critical strike. Yeah, I mean, he's quite large, and his follow-up damage is real. If T1 don't get the jump on a single target, and without map control, it's much tougher for carry.
Okay, so items. Chovy's got the QSS for 1. For the Death Realm, I would say. Canyon's got the Zanyas for Death Realm. But you're sitting on 1, 2, 3, 3 items. 4.5 items. 1, 2, 3. 4 items.
He almost had on that Dragon moments before. Yeah. And then this composition works the way we
2 full items. 1.
It's very late game. We're almost 40 minutes in.
I guess the Iron of Locket of Solari. I guess they're pretty even.
Yeah, and maybe Gen G's read on
No
this meta
Ornn's
is
on
that
237
going very
CS.
long, and this comp really does kind of outlast. It just goes the distance, and it just keeps on going. The Senna, the unlimited scaling, and the Ornn with all the ornaments, you just get kind of out of control.
You see how far,
Gen G are so
like,
good against really strong teams. Just keeps on
the
going.
range that Senna has by now is just ridiculous.
Unlimited scaling, and the Ornn with all the ornaments, you just get.
Like, Senna range. 38 minutes. Stacks.
Kind of out of control eventually, and Gen G are so good against really strong teams at coming back from deficits and just never
Keen's
letting go of the
teleport
game and
is
sitting on
down.
gold even from behind.
Nobody's
And
side laning right
here we are
now.
again in a situation where it looked like T1 were just going to win and run away.
Baron
It's
is
gonna be a really
live.
big upset.
Dragon in 2 minutes and
Really
20
make this
seconds.
series interesting, but now Gen G feel like
Faker's
they're back.
teleporting mid. He's got his Lord Dominic's now, so Faker's on full items now.
Yeah, they're trying to.
Oh, so somebody gets Ornn ulted. Is it Guma?
It's still interesting. It's not over yet, but Gen G making the plays.
Yeah, they're trying to.
No, they get Zeus instead.
Actually trying to get on top of the Mordekaiser, but now Faker gonna go into the fight and
Poor
immediately
Faker.
Toby will take him down and punish Faker in the mid lane as now Zeus has to go into this one. We do have a sleep
I don't
as
think he
well.
had.
Lilia,
Let me relook. I don't think he had flash.
trying to,
Yeah, he had
face
flash.
front line, actually, trying to get on top of the Mordekaiser, but now Faker
So he
gonna
just
go
instantly
in.
has to flash.
Just die as Toby will take him down and punish Faker in the mid lane as now Zeus has to go into this one. We do have a sleep as well. Lilia, owner trying to do the damage.
And I think it's past the window for T1 to, with the Cloud, the 2 Ocean Souls, the Cloud Drake. It's like past the window where T1 needed to close this out at 30 minutes. Owner's just trying to promote time or prolong time. So T1 can't do anything to take the Baron.
He has to try to close the away there, realize the clear the way. G, and at this late stage of the game, they can group us 4-1 here.
So Dragon in 30 seconds. That's probably game if
They only got one grub, you remember,
Gen G can win it or if T1 can win it.
take a look at the actual human nexus that is
I guess if you're Gen G, you don't want to just go straight over the Dragon. You want to try to push this wave out till the Baron buffs off.
Everybody on the side of T1 is just taking massive poke damage. Nobody can escape the wrath that is FaZe right now. And, you know, he's got 1,000
It just, the range is ridiculous on the Senna and the damage that she does too. To turrets for a support to do that much damage to a turret. It has a root and heals. And then you've got 2 Ocean Souls that heal. T1 had their window where they could have won.
Trying to stop the wave. Guma trying to do it as well. As down will go Toby, but there's a second, even stronger AD carry that's left over. It is FaZe on
So Guma's flash is down. Maybe he needed the cleanse again, like I said. I don't know. So there's game number 1, Gen G win in 40 minutes. It looked like T1 could have won this game. Was it a stomp from Gen G? I'm looking for the end game.
We want to try to index into some big
Here we go.
counter picks, but yeah, you see at the end of the day, Faker did do a lot of damage. He had a lot of gold.
Okay. Post game. I don't need the text. Okay, so game 2. Draft. Then I am going to take my break.
Stop playing League if you don't have Professor yet. Yes, it makes such a
CK.
Faker's meditating.
You and I watch the sky I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster. Just give me one more try. Suffocation. Everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster. Just give me one more try. And the moon came out on that gloomy night. Her face was full of pleasure, his was full of delight. And the clock struck 12, she was out of sight. They still love each other, all they could do was fight. Suffocation, everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster, just give me one more try. Suffocation, everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster, just give me one more try. Suffocation, everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster, just give me one more try. Suffocation, everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster, just give me one more try.
Alright. And now I'm back. Time for game number 2. Faker's meditating. I'm into meditation. So game number 2 draft.
I mean, since the telecom war changed and we saw T1 kind of really pull away from that one, we've had a few rivalries crop up, but it never really was the Dom 1 versus T1 or a Dom 1 versus Gen G. It was Dom 1 dominance, and as they fell down, T1 and Gen G have been...
Listening to what Wolf has to say, he has very good analysis.
I would say maybe you try your hand.
He works very hard. Does the challenger games. So again, I kind of rank the degrees here.
It definitely will.
Rumble gone again, Ash gone again. I mean, this is
3. Can't wait to get this over with and go out and enjoy the sunlight a bit.
From T1 and their final ban, Lucian will go again.
So,
and you know, I don't think
you are
going to ban the Callisto in this case. They will take that away.
2, 3, 4. Now that's annoying. I can't hit skip.
See if T1 opt for a different game plan here. If they're just going to go for the Corki first pick again, the Vi is available. If they want to first pick
1, 2, 2. I want you to think in groups when they're drafting, especially on the blue side. So we get Azir, Faker's Azir, which is won many games, World Cup, Worlds.
They still ban the Lucian, and they say, well, this time we're just going to give Azir to Faker. Now, the issue with this is that...
So what is Azir into Corki? Corki into Azir. Corki wins against... See, Faker's got a really hard matchup here. Especially playing into Chovy.
Prioritizing it even against the Tristana when that was very much the meta. Corki versus Tristana every game.
It's his most picked champion this season as well by
Corki,
a large margin.
Nidalee again.
13th game. His next most played is Lucian at 4. So
Lily looked like
really
that did okay.
This one, as you say, Canyon.
I don't really think if it was anything on Owner in the first game, it was he was over aggressive. He takes Vi. So what is Vi into Nidalee? Vi into Nidalee. It's like a coin flip matchup. This is like a straight up skill matchup. Who is better? Who is more skilled? Also, could be like who gets caught on the right day, right? Like maybe it was a bad day for Owner, or maybe it was a bad day for Faker. Faker's allowed to have bad days. I think they'll still be alright and make it to Worlds somehow. And if they don't, I really think that this T1 roster enjoys some time, or not enjoy, but needs some time off. Don't go to Worlds, rest, take a vacation, come back. They're a good roster. They may need time away more than anything. These players are burned out.
Traditional, AP mid that locks champions down well with it, but obviously the Azir is going to be pretty good with this too. And they'll grab the cannon here early.
Again, I've done some pro work, and you get burned out very quickly. To where your brain like can't remember things, it doesn't work. And I have to write notes now, or just I watch so many games to remember what's going on. So we get the Cassante, which what is Cassante into Kennen?
I think T1 would do well to
Kennen. Kennen wins against Cassante 53% of the time, so T1 give Zayas a winning matchup here. Faker has a losing matchup. Nidalee owner has a coin flip matchup.
Ban it.
Leona is banned.
First here instead.
Yeah. I mean, you think Jovi's a
The
good
Callista, so Genji look like they're still scared of the Callista because they're banning it this time.
really want to give that guy Zeri. So I think that's a good call out.
Caitlyn's banned, Ashe is banned. These are still Guma bans.
I mean, they
Genji's
have
still worried about
the
Guma
Callista's
and
gone,
Tapeis.
the Caitlyn's gone. Maybe you ban Draven here, and then you're like, you really have to ban the Zeri because T1 have had so many great answers to the Zeri lane.
So
Ziggs is the number
Ziggs,
one, right?
yet
And
again,
this is, I think, T1
another
saying,
Guma
I
pick.
want you to play Zeri because we have the
So
answer.
they're
We can
banning
find
Guma
one.
out.
I'll ban Senna instead.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a
Maybe
Soraka
T1
Draven
should have
lane
taken the
that's
Senna
what
or
we've seen that from them
Senna
already this season
Maokai
from
or
very
Senna.
The issue is that you don't have counter
Whatever
pick for
good
support.
tank you can
that's
put
why
with
the
Senna.
Soraka came out in that specific scenario
Could
against
probably
Lehens.
pull off
I mean, it's
Senna
a strong lane,
Cassante.
but at the end of the day, Lehens will have the final say. And it might just be the Jhin, which is a little bit of a takeaway as well from Guma. But nope.
So it's Zeri. It could be Zeri mid, Corki bottom. That hasn't worked. I've only seen that work one time.
Maybe.
Vi engage in Cannon, so that front line offers a lot for Jhin potentially. It isn't going to be as strong of a winning lane matchup. Draven has been played with Soraka, has been played with Nami in the past. And, you know, the Leona is banned. Ooh, the trap pick, don't do it to me, Guma.
I mean, playing Xayah,
So Xayah, Zeri.
Sendo Beam, and Spears, and Corki Rockets.
Look at that win rate.
Just sounds like a recipe for...
Looks like a bad win rate. Ooh. Don't think we have any Xayah stats. Zeri wins against Zyra 77% of the time, so Guma's taking a really bad matchup here into Pays. Again, this might just be a bad day for T1. Guma seems to get caught out a good bit. And then we've got Nautilus into what?
Disaster.
22%.
They didn't even pick the Rakan with it. It's
Oh.
understandable that they picked
Nautilus.
Zeri, but it's like... This just
Guma-
feels like a straight-up Guma pick.
Guma is one of the only players that I trust on Xayah, to be honest with you, Valdez. But even still, I'm feeling a little bit worried about this pick, as we do see the Alistair to follow up here, one of the...
So Zeri's good into, let's see. Zeri's good into Alistair. What's Nautilus? What's Nautilus into Alistair? Nautilus wins against Alistair 54% of the time. Not the right page. But Nautilus is not good into Zeri. All right.
The only support pick, as we do see the Alistair to follow up here, one of the only supports left that's good at weathering the storm.
Get into the game so I can go outside and enjoy the sun before it sets.
Later on, a great front line with Keen for this area. They got the double 4 up in this game.
Again, don't put like a huge value on this. Whoever wins, whoever loses.
Played it twice. Taker on the Azir because the Corki, you know, he didn't look as comfortable. You've got
Doesn't mean T1's not going to Worlds. It may need a break though, in my opinion. Like they've done so much the last 3 years. Travel.
Here we go, game 2 of T1 up against Gen G.
So Nautilus has the sweeper lens early, where I do notice like Gen G, they don't take the sweeper lens early. Also, you have Nidalee that's going to provide you extra vision.
As take a look at this, we have got
Pretty much the same thing as last game. You have Zeus putting his early ward. This is probably like 45 seconds. Early ward top.
Keen with exhaust in the top lane.
So the sweeper lens does nothing for T1 start out with. They don't find any ward. Owner's first ward. Nidalee doesn't need the vision like that as bad because she's got the traps and she can get away with getting over the wall in the tiger or the lion form. But mainly the spears. You can check the brushes with the spears.
Down in that bottom lane, so you just give it to Cassante, who doesn't need flash to do what
Chovy, I don't know why he's at his... Oh wait, no, that's Pays. Sorry, I'm used to seeing Chovy the last game on Zeri. Got kind of a cheeky play here where it looks like you have Zeus mid, Owner mid. This is probably so Faker can get his ward here. I would say that Faker's gonna get this ward, and that's why Zeus and Owner came down here to protect him.
I do think, you know, when you look at the composition here of T1 and how well you can, you know, set up an Azir,
Which may put Zeus behind a little bit, right? But he's a cannon. He has movement speed buff if he needs. Looks like he's getting back in time for the ward, or for the ward, for the wave. You have Keen taking exhaust, which is really weird. I guess Keen needs this for Zeus' ult later on in the game. Lahens and Pays need the ignite for the bottom lane so they don't get dove, or so they can win their lane. So they can get dragon probably. Chovy gets his ward here.
Side in the jungle. This mid matchup is definitely one we've seen a lot, especially with Tristana being nerfed.
So Chovy gets a lot done by himself, getting the ward, putting all the damage on Faker.
But more than Corki,
Faker's already got a really bad start in this.
Yep, just getting in Faker's face.
11-0.
Yeah,
no.
He has played it.
Now Chovy's about the same HP, even though Faker's having to burn his health pot.
Ahead of that Lucian that had 4 games, right? So
you know, Chovy can sustain a little bit more with the Dorn's Blade. Both have fleet footwork so they can heal.
And Chovy's gonna zone him away and hit level 2 first.
Lahens gets some type of deep ward here behind the T1 bottom lane. They're overextended.
It's just the recent power of the Corki after the change.
Also nice deep vision here. T1 have on the blue buff.
As well, just being very obnoxious at level 1. And eventually it will stabilize.
I'm guessing that's Guma's ward. Like, I like this ward placement by Guma. It doesn't mean like Guma did it by himself, right? Like he had Carrier helping him. He's got the sweeper. They have to work together. There's no like one man that wins these games alone. It's a 5 versus 5 team game.
Very frustrating to deal with. Vega's doing a good job though of spacing.
So Genji already have vision on Guma or Guma owner.
CS parity.
And both teams have vision on the enemy jungler.
Getting in there, doing some nice poke himself. And at the end of the day, you know, we saw Zero Corki so many times because the handshake is it's very even in this day and age. As you mentioned before, definitely very much a Guma pick.
Chovy is just asking to get ganked by owner right here, being so overextended and so low on health. Like perfect time to come over here and get Chovy's flash at least. Keen's gonna, I would say, have to play by the he can't go over this line in this game because he doesn't have a flash, so he can't make a mistake.
Yeah, I think this is one of the better angles for it. You know, it's I feel like a misnomer that Xayah is just good into dive because she can press R, but when there's a lot of different dive tools, you know, you only get one R button. But in this game, you know, you've got an Alistar, you've got a Cassante to deal with, and if the spacing is good,
So
Guma,
Canyon's gonna get the Scuttle Crab here, which should allow Genji the Dragon early, like at 5 minutes. He's level 4 at like pretty quickly, even faster than the time before. See when. And he's level 4 like 20 seconds before I can get level 4.
To dive because she can press R, but when there's a lot of different dive tools, you know, you only get one R button. But in this game, you know, you've got an Alistar, you've got a Cassante to deal with, and if the spacing is good from Guma, you know, you may just have to ult a Cassante Q3 or something.
Guess I'll have to go back and look at his route in this game because it's like 20 seconds faster than the game before.
Where it's a trap. Not necessarily in this case.
Or at least off the crab he got level 4, huh? No.
Good from Guma. You know,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Sorry, my mind was playing a trick on me.
The spacing is good from Guma.
So he
you know, you may just have to ult a Cassante Q3 or
got
something.
that level 4 like 20 seconds faster in this game.
It's not the awkward Xayah angle where it's a trap. Not necessarily in this case. It does feel much better. You have Canyon down here.
Yeah.
I don't think T1 have vision of Canyon.
Looking for Lahens on the engage first. That's one way to deal with the Xayah, is just get in there before she's level 6. But it does look like Canyon's just going to back away, and we don't have any action down there on
Some point,
the bottom side.
Sakeen has 2 wards up.
Low action game. You know, both sides can easily farm up for the late game, and engaging onto Cannon.
He's going to have to play at the turret. He can't overextend. He has exhaust. No flash.
Genji's not going to have a lot of options for a really proactive early game, so just kind of farm it out, you know, see what you can get in the mid.
I would say that's why Canyon shows top, as he thinks that Cassante's going to get dove here, so Canyon had to come top side.
Level 1. That's part of why they had had that big.
They'll have to help babysit. Like Genji will have to babysit Keen in this game without the flash.
And Keen is getting pushed in a little bit. He's there to kind of cover that lane as well. Candy's just going to be more of a defensive facilitator because he is Nidally, doesn't really offer any form of CC or anything like that. So hard to actually kill, but can punish somebody who is pushed up too far or relieve that pressure.
Talking about the AP junglers being so quick, I mean, Vi is even or ahead right now of Nidalee.
At the end of the day, the Corki does win out. That was really cute, actually, that Canyon.
So Zeus's teleport is down, Faker's teleport is down. You could start taking Dragon now. Now's the time to take Dragon.
Actually looking for a champion kill as well, as Faker nearly dies to a Phosphorus bomb.
Looks like Canyon, I don't know if the blue buffs are up or not. Maybe skipping that blue buff to come down here. Probably why T1's forcing a fight here to prevent the Dragon.
Just ends up being a little bit of a ruckus, as Ox put it.
Yeah.
So
here down level 6.
now that they don't have the timer, like they don't have the timers of the buffs up.
Doesn't happen.
When you're watching the pro matches where you watch when you're in the game and you know when it's up, so like I don't even pay attention to the duration or how long. Or like back in the day, I knew you had to time it so you would know when it would be back up. It's like I don't even pay attention to that stuff anymore.
Pings of question marks on the Dragon from T1. Not sure if he's actually doing that one as they did back. So
sometimes when you're watching these, you're like, is the red buff up or not? Like,
they're gonna come over here and find out. Lehen's gonna play bodyguard.
so this is where T1 should, I would think, take Dragon instead of trying to prevent these Void Grubs. They force a fight. Corki's got a Null Mantle and a Ruby Crystal and a Tear. So I'm guessing he's going Mercury Treads first.
It's also a kill going over to Canyon, who will utilize that gold very well. All the while on the bottom side, they didn't get Dragon, right? They came over, didn't get Grubs.
So T1 lost the Void Grubs. They have lost Carrier. But I think they're going to lose the Dragon. And there's no... There's nothing they can... No. Canyon's not going to go for the Dragon. And Keen just about solo killed. Solo took down Zeus without a flash.
Level 5 and not really able to do much.
Getting the flash and the ult away from
I would think Owner would just go for the Dragon and stop worrying about this. If they're wanting to dive the Cassante.
With Carrier returning to lane, they didn't actually hold on to that prio. Chovy ended up losing control of mid as well as Keen tries to make this topside play. Finds himself empty there as Owner hits level 6 now off of the Krugs. This is a scary moment here when Vi
Okay, so Owner has his ult now. He can
does have a significant CS
roam and make plays in lanes, right? Catch somebody out with the Vial. They're pretty much a goner early.
I thought that actually Keen would pull the wave towards his turret because he had a big health advantage, and also both top laners don't have TP, so I feel like he really could have punished Zeus more, but instead he wants to get the fast back. And it's actually because they want to go for a bit of a lane swap right now.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Chovy getting a good bit ahead of Azir.
Chovy is really just making Faker frustrated.
Nidalee getting a good bit ahead of Owner now that he's got the Fate's Ashes or Ashes of Fate, whatever they're called. Fate's Ashes. So we get a lane swap out of Genji coming top, their bottom lane coming top side, and their top side going bottom lane.
But they weren't able to get the Dragon. Obviously that kill going over to Canyon as well.
Which Cassante may need his exhaust here to prevent from getting dove. You got the Vial now. I think he's going in because he's got Nidalee coming in behind. So I guess T1 didn't even know or see Nidalee was coming down.
Yeah, and look at the top lane. Paige is getting pressure on those plates. There's no answer here.
Yeah, and then T1 or Genji take a bunch of plates. Or bunch. 3.
And give a second kill to Canyon. And even with the lane swap
Or
protection,
two.
FaZe is going to get a lot done here in this top lane. And if that's all he gets, still a huge win. And you see Keen has also caught up in terms of CS. He was significantly behind against the Kennen moments
So
ago.
Gen G's 500 gold ahead of T1 now.
T1 not able to
Surprised
get
no
gold
dragon
lane to
yet.
start this breakup. If that dive works, maybe they rotate Faker in.
It's like Gen G are just wanting T1 to try to take the dragon so they can team fight them. I would say as well, Canyon probably got the blue buff, so that took a few minutes.
Absolutely. This time around, it feels different. You know, we had a very
As owner has blue and red buff. Okay.
20 minutes, it felt like.
Canyon has both buffs.
But this time, Gen G are getting it started much earlier with some very nice map plays just to move around and get.
Kind of odd that Faker's down here in the bottom lane.
Okay, we want to get him the plates. We're going to send Canyon down bot so that Keen is safe. And it just gets your gold in the right places. Meanwhile, trying to get a little bit extra as Faker in a rough spot, but he will be able to just dash away as he is Azir.
That's more plates for FaZe, you know, +1. Gonna be
Maybe it's because Faker's struggling into Chovy, so they decided to rotate Faker to the bottom lane. Now he's going mid. Or you do that so you don't miss waves as well. You don't want to let any waves go to waste. That's how these pro teams get like 100 CS over the average solo queue player, or 150 CS.
He actually still has a CS lead, but the plate gold going over feels so nice for FaZe. 4 in total for him.
So now T1 at least get the 3 Void Grubs, so the Void Grub match is even. Now T1 are 5 minutes behind because they lost the dragon to Gen G.
So they're really controlling a lot here. I think it's very scary that
Gen G have a lot of vision in the bottom jungle from T1, so
Chovy trades with him, forces him to back. He grabs Nasher's tooth, but Chovy's going to get another plate as well in mid lane as the Azir is gone.
and this
Yeah.
So he's getting nothing out of that.
Corky's just really bullying this Azir. He doesn't even have any real damage items yet.
You look at the
Now Faker's got his Nasher's tooth, so maybe this will change this a little bit.
CS hack meme. He had like 470 CS. He was almost flame rising, if not flame rising, last game as well.
Yeah. On
the Zeri. Crazy stuff as FaZe left alone for a moment here. Difficult to punish though. He has barrier flash and of course his ultimate.
Hayes is left alone where he could get dove. We see Lahin's coming down though, and Canyon roaming down to the bottom lane. And then Gen G have a lot of vision in T1's bottom jungle, so they should know where, or at some point get vision on owner.
So great as Gen G are really punishing them, trying to get in here, but now it's actually Canyon who's going to get finished, dragged back, and now FaZe is in a lot of trouble. Barrier not going to help.
So good play on T1. He caught out Nidalee.
Come up big. Finally, T1 are able to make this bottom side play work. They get Canyon first, then turn on to FaZe.
Fortunately, there's no dragon up for another 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then the Rift Herald will be up in less than a minute.
Got 2 kills, and a Leandri's, it's not going to help you out when a Vi gets on top of you. So great read here from T1.
Lahen's. The Hex Tech flashed across the other side of the turret just to
what little of this he can. We'll stop a back perhaps.
try to catch out Guma, I guess, or push him away, or maybe set off him recalling a little bit. They're working, Gen G's working their way over to the Rift Herald. I like playing Alistar. When I first started playing the game, I played Jungle Alistar. And then they nerfed his E, and so he doesn't do as well in the jungle. Jose's got caught in a really bad spot there. And then unfortunately took Gromp damage because of his ult was going off. So I think he would have got away if he didn't have his ultimate up. He took that Gromp damage. And Nidalee's getting the blue buff, the Gromp, as Guma's getting a turret. But it looks like Keen's about to get a turret too, so I'm sure also Canyon will go get this Rift Herald after he gets the blue buff. Mainly need the mana. And Chovy looks bored in mid lane.
It's a very close game, but I think a big factor here is that the Azir picked up a kill, so even though he's down 30 CS,
They play so many games, like basically you're playing in your sleep. Unfortunately, Chovy's about out of mana, so he's just gonna throw in some auto attacks and not do much to the Rift Herald. Or Zeus, if his ult wasn't up, he probably wouldn't have hit the Gronk and perhaps got away.
Pushing him into the long wall there. Great understanding of the champ.
Yeah, he's just really good at utilizing the very overpowered kits.
So, yeah, okay. Genji got the Rift Herald, T1 get the blue buff. I would rather have the Rift Herald.
You remember like the 1v4 play from him. That's the one that always stands out in my mind. And, you know, he picked it in game 1. Looked great on it. Well, maybe not great, yeah. Did get a vote in the POG.
Zoner's ult up. They also have somebody was teleporting in. Let's say I thought it was Faker teleporting in.
Well, I mean, okay, it's a long
So they get Alistar, but it costs a teleport and a flash on Faker.
I mean, look,
Corki's already down to the T2 turret with low mana. Chovy's gonna have to go back soon and get mana. At least he has his teleport up. And he's just teleporting to the mid lane.
I feel like the percentage game is not going to help out too much.
The tenacity will feel pretty good for...
It'd be nice if they put the buff timers up on the pro matches so you could see when they'll be back up.
Yeah, Owner is trying to get an engage going on. Owner here is in a bit of trouble, and this Alistar's getting some huge dividends. Lahen's actually saving that unbreakable will. Doesn't actually do anything. Meanwhile,
Chovy really needs to get back. That's what he's trying to do. Get back and get mana. I'm sure he's got some gold to get like a Caulfield's hammer.
What is happening here?
Lahen's should be getting dove. I mean, he can't do anything. Like, he has no flash.
Going into enemy teams' bases recently, and this one goes a lot better than what happened with Hayes.
Okay, well that was, yeah, that wasn't it, and he might die.
So it seems like T1 are off in this game now. Owner's not off, but it's like, what are you doing, Faker?
That was a cover your eyes moment, as now T1 trying to close the gap here on a Canyon. As they did go
So this point, it's kind of looking like T1 are just off. Like, they're tilted, as some will say. Because you could come easily take Keen out. He has exhaust, but you don't have any flash to get away.
Just kind of defending your turrets might have been better than losing half of an inhibitor turret and a ton of gold on the cannon because the wave was just tossed into the turret, as well as losing that mid turret as well.
So they invest a lot to get just a support.
He really didn't want to use his ult. We've been through this. We've been over it. Faker, the good punish, does have to flash to follow. And that means
there's no bounties on the sport, so it may not be worth all the trouble. Because now, like, you had Keen going bottom lane,
and it just looked very silly.
It looked silly. Unfortunately, Owner,
where maybe you need to teleport somewhere else. Like to take an objective here in a minute, like the Dragon or the Baron.
Doesn't have ult, so Chovy is trying to walk it off here. Canyon will end up getting stunned and killed, but Chovy has Valkyrie. It's a trade, though, of half of the inhibitor turret's health and that mid turret going down as well. So a lot of gold going over to Genji in exchange. You can see they've moved it up to 1,000 gold, the lead here. I mean, Pei's still behind.
Guma's taking some of Owner's farm. That may not make Owner happy.
This big Cassante is going to be a great frontline for the double AD carry, and Corki is not.
But that's one reason Zaya's good. She can clear jungle camps pretty fast. For some ADs struggle.
He's playing Ezreal. It's 80 carries that are open.
I mean, once you got like an item, it's not so bad. He's on 2 items already. So Guma's ready for Baron.
Keen Sante and Chovy Chorky in the mid lane, and a little bit of everybody else sprinkled in there.
I mean, right now they're doing a lot of damage to turrets, as we saw that graphic earlier, and then Chovy
Hayes is on his 2 items ready for Baron. Chovy's ready for Baron before 20 minutes.
Completely here. So even though they get that trade back kill, and the Xayah has IE sitting on 2 items, Hayes also has 2 items, not as strong.
Canyon has his Seeker's Arm Guard, which I think is important. They may need that. May need a Zhonya's.
with the
He already got caught out once in the game.
this is still a big spike for
Gen G have
as
a
well,
lot of
and there's not a lot of
vision here on the
map
Baron
for
pit,
T1
or
to
Baron
react
pit,
to, versus
Dragon
both
pit.
turrets being
So
gone here in the top lane means that if we tussle for Baron, T1 try to do their
let's put these in the slides.
classic Baron in turn, and it doesn't work out and they need to run away.
They also have a nice deep ward back at this topside jungle.
It's like so far away, like T1, calculate when you need to respond to this. It's going to take a while.
Faker's just going to stand there. I mean, Owner is nearby as well.
Looks like the Rift Herald's coming straight at Faker.
In case he tries to dodge any other Nidalee spears. Nidalee, as we know, is nowhere near.
But this is a distraction, right? This Rift Herald.
Hibernating for the winter.
Gen G looks like they're well set up to take the dragon.
And especially because it is
Faker's got teleport.
Gen G might just take all three, and T1 might just be like, okay, well, let's fight you on the Elder. We'll see when they want to make a play for an objective, but for now it feels like Gen G are just in major control of the map.
They have full prio. Faker does have TP and did clear the Herald. Cannon, TP coming up soon. There's no flank ward really for Cannon to use.
Keen way overextended without a flash. Just asking to get all in. I mean, these teams are playing like that because they can. Don't do that in solo queue. Gen G's wanting T1 to go all in on Cassante.
It feels like every Drake fight between these two teams, even in the first
Like they're prepared. If he gets caught out, they'll be right there to help him.
I feel like in this scenario, there's not much they could do to trade. They're not going to be able to get away
I
with
thought that Gen G would go for Dragon here, but it looks like they're flexing toward Baron.
Mid turret, not really accessible with Gen G having this much prio, so there isn't really a great choice to make, but committing the teleport there from Faker.
There we go. They were pushing the wave out. Looks like Nidalee and Corki are going for the dragon. They don't even need everybody there.
There's a lot of pings on Baron right now from the blue team, making me a bit worried.
Faker's just working his way to shove the wave into this turret up here to do some damage, get some gold. That's the key. You gotta push these waves out over the line. It's another thing I guess I don't talk about the line is you have to make sure the waves are on the enemy side of the map, the red side or the blue side. You don't want the waves clear down on your side because it can crash into your inhibitor or base. You're trying to push them back out on the enemy side of the map.
You know, Hextech Soul or Infernal Soul, you're feeling a lot more pressure to actually act and show up for those team fights.
Yeah, and all the while, there's Zaya's getting fed, there's Zir's getting fed, and they've got a lot of
Carry is on his Warmogs. Alistar's a little bit behind, doesn't even have any assists.
So if eventually, you know, the one issue I
Casante's on his 2 items and a half.
They can deal with Corki, they can deal with Zeri. As long as the fight engages are clean and they layer their CC well, and we don't have the depth charge at the same time as the Vi ultimate.
So again, like teams seem like they won't take Baron or attempt Baron until their carries get on 2 items. Gen G's getting close. T1's getting close. Owner needs to finish his item. I'm sure like Baker's really struggling so he can get his second item. And it looks like he got... He's going a different item. He got Seeker's Arm Guard. Now he's trying to complete the... I don't even remember what it's called now.
And he's been able to get a lot of value out of Stasis. But with this game state, it's going to be really tricky. You might just need it so desperately to actually set up for, you know, a game-changing play.
It used to be a very gold-efficient item. Let me see. Is there a... Is it op.gg? Guess I can look there. They've changed the name of this item, I think, or it looks different. or whatever. See, I don't know what this Zach's Realm spike is. It's a magic pen item. And for some reason I can't think of the name of it. This one, Void Staff. Yeah, have it. Used to be one of the most gold efficient items in the game because you get the 40% magic penetration. So he's went half of Zonya's and then changed to Void Staff because he knows he needs the Zonya's proc to survive or engage. So Gen G's just gonna try to delete Faker off the map any chance they get. It's some of the fault, I guess, with T1. It's like you take out Faker and then they can't do anything.
We talked about it many times before, but Gen G
Players should be able to, but it's just the way the team was built and plays that
get it all into their pockets.
maybe it's more of a trust issue from Faker that he doesn't trust that the team can carry without him.
Camps, deny waves, stuff like that, and just get small gold leads. And even from behind, just finding ways.
So the Baron's live.
Too far behind.
Yeah,
has always been their
Zeus is here in the bottom lane shoving the wave out. Faker was in the top lane. It looks like Gen G are trying to prep for the Baron to get the Scuttle Crab.
All right, T1 now going to try to contest for some of this vision here, but feels very risky. Remember, Zeus
Canyon's on his Zonya's Hourglass, so Gen G should be able to go for Baron. Guess they're going to try to get the blue buff first.
Without any map control, it's tough for Faker to even push that topside turret. And I think against a weaker team, he hard forces that, and then they collapse.
Dragon in a minute and 50 seconds.
That's kind of the T1 MO, but Faker's not even going to chance it here in this one. You know, against a 2-item Corki on his spike, tough for him to actually win that matchup hard enough, and then he can collapse very quickly. Keen does have his TP. Trying to get something done here, down a level. He's just sitting on, unfortunately, kind of like one.
So Keen gets his Warden's Mail and Giant's built. Has his teleport up. Everybody's got their summoner spells and all their ultimates up, so teams are ready to team fight, minus Faker's got to get his Void Staff here. Owner's got his there, he finally got his Void Staff, so all the teams are ready for Baron now. Gen G, I think, could have forced the issue and went for Baron. Now pays his head by a full item. There now Guma's got his third item, so both teams are ready, minus Alistar's behind on the Warmogs, which guess maybe that's what Gen G was waiting on. The Warmogs on the support looks really strong because they could face check brushes to get vision, and then they can just run away and heal up in about 30 seconds. They don't need to recall.
And T1 has to strike first. You know, it's really difficult for them to actually go into a
so it looks like Gen G's is trying to choke out T1 here.
Because their team comp is reliant on all the pieces working together. And once again, they're just going to put 2 solo laners in the same lane to get a turret. Like,
because Gen G own about this much of the map.
Double TP to Baron, calling your bluff.
Yeah, and this is what it will force, but Gen G are okay with that because they push their lead even
so
farther.
Chovy
Okay, we won't have TP,
wastes his teleport. They get nothing out of this.
Who's kind of getting corralled out of this one, as of course Zeus held on to his TP. So T1 have teleport advantage, but what does it get you? You know, from behind, that's really what T1 need to figure out right now.
Yeah, and
Gen G have the item advantages here, where they should win the team fight or win the Baron.
Upside here, Keen is holding the door here, misses the engage there, Carria, and Gen G looking to turn.
Yeah, they want to fight. And here we go, level 16, Cassandra.
Keen takes a lot of damage.
As exhaust going to be used, Carria trying to punish, not going to catch him. And so Keen kind of finding out the amount of damage that T1 does have when the
Owner's late for that. Owner was definitely late.
potentially survive as well.
I think if Owner was ahead by like 10 seconds there, the T1 might have won that fight.
There's not much they can do except run from here.
Yeah, Zayas, no flash here. Really tough to make anything happen. Gumayusi is really the main character here. If T1 were ever to get something done here, might even try to look for a backstop. He's in a blast cone in.
Okay, he's going in. Didn't think that
Guma didn't realize Keen was right there, so ooh, there's one big play. Guma getting caught out.
is gone, and Keen's still
Happen. Gumayusi is really the main character here. If T1 were ever to get something done here, might even try to look.
So Guma. There's a big play that may lose this game for T1.
Look for a backstop. He's in a blast
I
cone
mean,
in.
he just takes the blast plant right into Canyon,
didn't think that Cassante was nearby.
trying to make a big
Well,
play.
found out that he was, and now he's dead. Flash is gone, and Keen
As
still
he
doesn't
takes a
leave
sip
one.
of his water, like, oh
It
man.
was so close to being that team fight. I was
Faker
talking
blew
about
his
almost
Seeker's
something.
arm guard too, so that's another thing that may cost T1 here, because he decided to go for the Void Staff instead, which they did melt. Was it Keen? Like, Keen took a lot of damage at the beginning of this fight, so I'm just saying maybe Faker needed the Zonya's Hourglass instead, because now he's going to have to farm up the rest of this before he has the Seeker's Arm Guard charge, so it cost them right there. Whereas, like, Canyon has his.
On the Lehens, he gets out, but then you get Pays, but it's in big trade there. Baker going down.
Another reason Corky has his Q so he can look into those brushes and face check like that.
I'm the only Fed member. I have to do something, but it wasn't the right call there with the Cassante standing.
So all of
right
this
in the
costs
right
the
read.
third dragon
There's
for
no
T1.
take, but it will be Gen G getting soul point here. And every little bit helps. I mean, all the extra healing.
Keen's
extra
on his
passing,
third
all
item.
things that will matter, but it's not
At
the
least
game
Kennen is going Zonya's Hourglass this game. I think that Mordekaiser needed the Zonya's Hourglass the last game, and maybe T1 would have
But
won.
then he's just completely isolated because with Unberg and Will, Lehens can just stand in front of everybody
Zonya's
else.
is
and
OP.
then the front to back gets really tricky with Guma
People
being so
complained
low.
about the stopwatch for the Guardian
And I guess
Angel.
just with the Scryers,
Guma was very
we just thought Keen, he was
reliant on
there,
that
he wasn't hit by
stopwatch
the
last
Scryers,
season.
wasn't.
He
had
doesn't
to
have
go
that
there.
now.
Scryers just misses
He's
him.
got
I guess
what, like
misread there from Guma is going to cost him his
Kai'Sa
match on an already low-range AD carry.
that he
At
can
least he's
rely
got
on
a
that has the Zonyas?
It feels rough.
Yeah, you take a look at what they get from the two Chemtech Drakes. 12% tenacity, which was recently taken away from some items and runes and stuff like that.
Chovy's on
And
his
also,
third item. Pays has been on his
defensive
third item for a
shields,
long
actually,
time.
Even with the Recurn. And to talk about Cassante a little bit more, he didn't have Randuin's in the last fight. Now he does. So that Zaya going to hurt a
So,
lot less. And already Keen is extremely
Baker's
damaged.
flash is down. Guma's barrier and flash is down. Zayas' flash is down. I was going to say Gen G could take the Baron here. They're taking the blue buff away from T1. Dragon's up in 3 minutes, which is soul point.
And they know the one way they can mess this up is if they just took a
Faker's finally got his Zonya's Hourglass. He needed that.
before they can do that, so they're just making T1 check, keeping them honest. Blue trinkets down, and it's like, well, T1, are you gonna face check? Keeping the Scryer's bloom up,
Big
checking
Keens,
There's
if he
no
could
war
catch
for
Owner
that
out or
here
Guma.
for T1, completely blind.
Yeah, they have like one blue trinket in their own
So
jungle.
Gen G starting up the Baron. I guess Canyon and Corky have enough damage to...
with Corky in Italy, and then eventually
It is 30
Agros and the
minutes.
team come over, and there's just zero vision. I mean, T1, they're just gonna have to send it, but they're too late. They're backing.
You can't even engage on Lehens. He's got ult, he's got flash. Like Owner is just gonna take the Constellation Gromp in this case, and T1 just
So,
could not come
in this game, T1 has seemed a little tilted after the last series. Faker has seemed tilted, off, out of place and positioning. miscommunication between the other players on T1. Owner seems way off. He's like 10 seconds behind of a play he's trying to make. I don't know, this game might be over. Xayah might need the cleanse in this game instead of the barrier. And she does have her ult, which is like a cleanse, but the Cassante ult, the Cassante exhaust, Alistar's headbutt.
Oh my god! What was that? Bye-bye! What was that damage?
I mean, that's some big quirky damage right there.
Is there a spear in that as well? There had to have been.
They had a lot of opportunities with another thing too. Faker, he was going. They could have took Keen out and they didn't. Where Keen was clearing their base and he didn't have Flash to get away, and they just let Keen do his thing and didn't pay attention to him. Keen is probably the best top laner in the world and has been for years. He's been in his own league, and a lot of us League of Legends fans are happy that Keen is finally on a top team. Like, Keen's taken some really bad teams to Worlds or a lot further than they should be, like a Freak of Freaks for many years.
Another 2-0 in the books for the team that's already secured.
But don't take too much out of this loss from T1 because they made a lot of mistakes. They're almost near the end of their season. They won World Cup. They've done a lot of travel. They went to MSI.
I thought it was a valiant attempt from T1. I mean, no one is really beating Genji right now.
But T1 lose game number 2 and they lose the series to Genji. They made a lot of mistakes. Genji's not a perfect game or not a perfect team. They make mistakes as well. So T1 maybe an off day. There was some really silly things like Guma likes to take barrier a lot. I think it's for the level 1 to 2 all-in trade, and then maybe prevent the first dive at 3 minutes or 5 minutes. But then if you don't close the game out in 20 or 30 minutes, then you kind of need the cleanse for team fights from hard CC. But that's it for today, guys. I'll see you next time on the next level with Sodaron. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the T1 vs Genji Saturday Showdown. I don't know what next series I'll do. I may be off a couple days. I've needed some rest and working on my personal life, which should make me give you better content. So I'm always trying to do better content. I'm not happy just doing the same thing over and over. I'll leave you with trying to figure out an outro song. I don't know if this one should be. I was gonna say maybe this should be the outro. This is a song called Flu by Positive Influence, their first song they ever wrote. Like 20 years ago.